Well. Welcome in to what I'm sure will be a stirring rendition of Skap Live After Dark. I, of course, am your host, Skap, coming to you live. It took me a couple extra minutes to crawl on here because quite frankly, I don't really even know what the hell to say. I'm in just a complete and utter state of shock. I have Gary, the moderator, on here with me. I had one thing set to go after this game. I obviously changed it. I changed the name of the title as well. The Choke City Thunder. I know probably a lot of you guys will be crawling in here saying, see Skap, see Gary, like the Pacers, they're going to do it. They're going to win this series. Pacers, like you discounted the Pacers. You overlooked the Pacers. I didn't do any of the above. The Oklahoma City Thunder are absolute dogs, straight choking dogs. I'll tell you, their shtick is getting pretty old at this point. This historical entity that is the Oklahoma City Thunder, blessed with this myriad of incredible players from 1 through 10, unbeatable. They continue to play around with their food. They continue to mess around in these games. They choked their asses off in game 1 of the semifinal round against the Denver Nuggets, a team they had no business letting limp to 7 games with them. That should have been a 4 or 5 game series max. This one should have been a 4 or 5 game series max. And yet, by their own bumbling ineptitude, choking, pathetic ways, just not taking opponents seriously, playing down to competition. Here we are in yet probably another lengthy series, which they will somehow win, and everyone will be celebrating Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for somehow underachieving his way to this championship and losing probably 6 or 7 games along the way. They should have swept every team in the playoffs virtually. I think maybe 2-3 losses at most is the margin of acceptability for this team. How they continue to do this. This team, dogs that they are, including every single player and coach on this team, including the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 15-point lead. A 15-point lead with 9 minutes to go at home in game 1 of the NBA Finals, in which they were a 10.5-point favorite at tip, and they are, plus 750 before the series begins. And somehow, some way, these bumbling idiots find a way to puke all over themselves in the last 9 minutes of the game. They got hit 13-4 in the last 3 minutes of this game. The Indiana Pacers did not lead for a single, not even a full second in this game. They led for exactly 0.3 of a second, the final 0.3 of a second. How the Thunder allow themselves to go through this. It is an absolute commentary on everybody on this roster. The head coach, Mark Daigneault, who is last year's coach of the year, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who is this year's league MVP, simply you cannot keep doing these things against these vastly inferior teams. So come on in, guys. Come on in. The water's warm. The water is warm in the lounge tonight. Jump on, plunge on in, come with all of the told you so's, long series, Pacers. I'm overlooking the Pacers. Hogwash, nonsense, ridiculousness. The only thing I overlooked was just what big dogs the Oklahoma City Thunder are. And I don't mean that in a good way. These scrubs do this dog thing at the end of games where like all 12, 10, 11 of them gather around and bark like dogs in post-game interviews. That's in a good context. I'm talking about dogs with a negative connotation, like choking scrub losers. They're still going to win the series, guys. I'm sorry. I don't want to dampen your fun, your little parade to the comment section of I told you so's. The Thunder are still going to win this series, just like they still won the series against the Denver Nuggets. But this is just pathetic. I'm just beside myself at this. As I was watching the game throughout the game, I'm thinking to myself, Wow, this game is a lot closer than I expected. They were up basically 10 the whole game. Like they went up 10 early in the first quarter. They were essentially just riding a double digit. They were between like 8 to 12 or 13 points literally all game. It never shrunk. I think the Pacers might have cut it to 8 or 9 to end the third. And then instantly, in the blink of an eye, in the first 2 minutes to start that quarter, the Thunder pumped that up from 8 or 9 to 15. And I'm like, okay, well, they've played with their food enough in this game, I suppose. They are now up 15 with 9 minutes to go. It's night time for the Indiana Pacers. Time to go to bed. Probably the Thunder will just walk it out to a 20-point lead now at this point and just cruise in for one of their signature easy sleepwalking victories. But the Pacers, look, credit to the Pacers. They do stay alive. They do keep fighting. They do not give up. They had 20 turnovers in the first half. I think maybe it was 18. I think they had 18 first half turnovers to 5 first half turnovers for the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder were playing like marginal ass in the first half. They were shooting, I believe, 37% themselves were the Oklahoma City Thunder in the first half, still up 12 at halftime because in large part of the Pacers 12 turnovers or 18 turnovers, they quickly, inflated those from 18 to 21 early on in that second half. At one point, I was looking at the turnover discrepancy. It was 21 to 5 in favor of the Thunder. So again, you just can't turn it over. Credit to the Pacers. They did cut back on those turnovers throughout the remainder of the second half. And look, they capitalize on the choke. Kudos to them. Just like the Denver Nuggets, kudos to them. Kudos to the Denver Nuggets and kudos to the Indiana Pacers for taking the free lunch, for taking the found money, for just showing up, staying somewhat within striking distance and waiting for the vomit chunks to start flowing out of the mouths of every single Thunder player. And again, I do mean every single player. People are going to look at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, 38 points tonight on 14 of 30. Look, 38 points, tremendous, whatever. He shot 30 times to get it. And he is the best player. He is the league MVP. This is a 10.5-point favorite in game one here at home in a substantial, as a substantial favorite for the series, the sixth biggest favorite since 1968 in the NBA Finals at the beginning of the NBA Finals round. We went over this in the lounge last time. One of the biggest favorites of all time, as well they should be. The greatest regular season team in NBA history by margin, by analytics, if you will, in their net differential, in their simple rating system scale this year. And guys, spoiler alert, every team that is in that SRS historical discussion pretty much just runs Rexhaw down all the way into the championship. Look, the fact that they're down 1-0, they're not going to panic. They are substantially better. They were down 1-0 to the Denver Nuggets. They were down 2-1 to the Denver Nuggets. At some point, these choking bums will wake up and actually start playing their A game. This was a D game effort by the Oklahoma City Thunder tonight. Pretty much no one but Shai played well offensively, at least. Chet Holmgren, just 6 points. And, he didn't really barely even play. I don't know what Dagnall's even doing. Towards the end of the game, he had no bigs in at all. Chet played in only 24 minutes in this game. He ends with 6 points. Jalen Williams, all-star, all-NBA defense, 17 points on 19 shot attempts tonight. That's 6 of 19. So 17 points on 19 attempts. Dort actually had a pretty good game. He hit a couple big threes, 15 points for him on 5 of 10. The bench was good for Oklahoma City, as it typically is. And then Shai was pretty much the only offense, 38 points, but again, 30 shot attempts to get it. Not that he was necessarily inefficient, 14 of 30, still a fairly volume shooting night for him. And he shot 8 free throws tonight, actually kind of down from his average, but 38, if you add in the free throws along with the field goal attempts, that's 38 shots to get 38 points. And I mean, look, Is it probably a little unfair to critique or criticize Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on this night on the heels of a 38-point game in his first NBA Finals appearance? No, he's supposed to win this game. He is a humongous favorite. They're 15 with 9 minutes to go in the fourth quarter and a historical defense. I mean, the Pacers put up 111 in this game. Actually a pretty good performance, I thought, by the Indiana Pacers by and large. They shot 48% from the field. They were right around 40% at the end of the first half. I think they were shooting 41% at the end of the first half. So they actually pumped that up into the second half, get up to around 48%. They shot the three ball particularly well tonight, 18 of 39, good for 46% from the three-point line for them. And the free throws, look, everyone talks about Oklahoma City and their free throw attempts, pretty much a wash. 24 attempts for the Thunder, 21 attempts for the Indiana Pacers. And look, Tyrese Haliburton was not good tonight. He was bad, in fact, most of the night. He was terrible in the first half. I think he went into the fourth quarter 2 of 7 for 8 points. But it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. Tyrese Haliburton, who has had a bit of a legendary playoff run, I think, to this point in this finals, to this point to get into the finals, I should say. A number of big moments. I mean, there's too many almost to pick out. He had some big moments against the Cavs. He had the game winner against the Bucks. He had monumental efforts in the last series. And now here we are in game one, NBA Finals, massive underdog. And he just comes out, lays an egg in the first 3 quarters, doesn't give in, doesn't quit, doesn't cede, doesn't slip away, just stays, keeps fighting. He made some big baskets down the stretch, and then he made the biggest shot of the game with 0.3 of a second left. And you're starting to get the feel with this guy that when the ball left his hand in that moment, I just felt like it was going in. That's kind of where that's what conversation he's worked himself into at this point. For people to think this guy was overrated. Look, I said 3 games ago, 2-3 games ago, that historical triple-double he had, that 32 point, 15 assists, 12 rebound, triple-double with 0 turnovers. I bestowed upon him superstar status from that game. Then I tongue-in-cheekily revoked it the next game when he laid down the triple single with 8 points, 6 assists, and 2 rebounds. But there is no denying this guy is an absolute, unequivocal superstar. He is, I said, top 10 league-wide player now after that triple-double that I just referenced. So going into this upcoming NBA season, I think he is going to be absolutely looked at as a top 10 player, regardless of the rest of the way this series goes. Quite frankly, I'm already blown away by their performance in this game. I've already had my expectations surpassed by them at this point because I thought they would only get 1 game. And you know what? Maybe they will only get 1 game from this point on. But to get this game, this all-important game 1, I was thinking they were going to be getting a pity game in Indiana, like game 3 or 4, probably game 4, when they were already down 3-0, and the Thunder just let the foot off the gas and kind of gave them a pity win and the gentleman sweep so they could get it back to Oklahoma City Thunder and the Oklahoma City fans and celebrate with them in their building. But I'm already blown away. My expectations have already been surpassed. So Tyrese Haliburton, to me, absolute superstar. He was 3rd team All-NBA this year. He's 3rd team All-NBA last year. And I think that's quite frankly, selling him a little short moving in, because that would indicate that he's maybe somewhere between 11 to 15 on the current rankings. I'm saying this cat is top 10 easily now heading into next year. Hell, get this guy on the preseason MVP watch list going into next season after this playoff run. Can you really think of, go ahead, think people in the live chat right now. Let me see the comments. Gary Moderator, keep me posted. And Gary Moderator, yep, this question is to you as well. Like, can you even remember off the top of your head someone that has had this many moments in an entire postseason run in like recent memory? Like this many indelible, legendary, game type winning, the choking celebration on the Knicks, like I said, the Giannis game winner, the Cavs heroics. Now this game one, 0.3 of a second game winner when the Pacers hadn't led all night long, when they overcame a 15-point deficit with just 9 minutes remaining. Like, can you remember this? There are so many moments this kid has had already that I can barely even remember them all. And it's just in the context of this one postseason run. I've seen a lot of great basketball players and a lot of great basketball played throughout the last 30 years roughly of my lifetime, where I've seen essentially almost every single playoff game played during that span of time. And I can't look, Kobe, Jordan, Jokic, like whatever. Steph Curry, Durant, LeBron, can you think of this many signature, iconic, like late game, clutch ass, game winning type plays made by one cat in one postseason run? And it's like every round. He's doing it in every round. Tyrese Haliburton is incredible. While I will give the Pacers virtually no credit here, and you guys can continue to pour in and do the I told you so dance, they will get no credit here. To me, this is a commentary on the Choke City Thunder, the loser dogs that they are, their head coach, all their players. Again, the league MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, it's incumbent on him to win this game. They're an 11-point favorites at tip. They're up 15 with 9 minutes to go. You're at home. Get it over the hump. And he had 38. He wasn't even particularly poor in the fourth quarter. I think he shot 2 of 4 in the fourth quarter for 8 points. But he misses his last shot. He gets blocked in one of his last shots and misses his last shot, which opens the doorway. And I think, quite frankly, he was trying to bait a foul on one of those. The officials didn't go for it, and he was just coaxed into a bad shot. Look, Shai's a great player, likely still going to win this series, and then whatever. He'll get his flowers. I'll give him his flowers. I'll talk about him in the pantheon of all-time great individual runs in one season when they ultimately likely win this series. But these are the games that team, coach, and all-star superstar in Shai alike, all of them have to wear it. And they keep doing it. They keep playing down to their opponents for some reason. Like, what are they doing letting the Pacers get this game? Anyway, like I said, the Pacers will get virtually no credit. This is all just, to me, a negative commentary on the Choke City Thunder. But the one cat that I will continue to praise, that I have been praising all postseason long, is Tyrese Haliburton. Take his name out your mouths, all of you people that were saying this guy was overrated in some way. I guess the players, Gary, did his peer set vote him the most overrated player, or was this like a fan media voted thing? Are you aware of this vote that was released recently? I see you shaking your head, moderator Gary.
No, I'm not really sure.
There was something recently, like towards the beginning of the playoffs, end of the regular season, that found that Tyrese Haliburton was the most overrated player in the NBA. Now, I don't know who's voting on this. I don't know if it was the players, the media, the fans, or what. But the fact that people voted this cat overrated, and now he's doing this in the playoffs, my goodness. I will be giving him all the credit in the world. I will be absolutely still. Even just like after the Nuggets shocked the world in game one of that last series, and to freshen your memories, guys. And then we've got a whole amount. I think we have like 20 super chats already. So we're going to get to some comments here. We'll welcome in moderator Gary as well here in a moment. But see, now I've even lost my train of thought here. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Gary, have done this to me. I can't even keep my thought here because I'm so absolutely stunned, shocked, and stupefied by the outcome of this game. Okay, I remember what my train of thought was. Even after game one of the semifinal round against the Denver Nuggets, to refresh you guys, to refresh your memories, they were up 12 with 2.5 minutes to go in that game at home as 10-point favorites when the Nuggets stormed back. And if you recall, it was Aaron Gordon hitting a 3-point shot. I believe they were down 1. He hit the 3-point shot, and they had no timeouts left. So he hit it with, again, like 3 or 4 tenths of a second. They had no timeouts left. It was the desperation heave. And then the Nuggets all of a sudden are up 1-0. Even after they went up 1-0, I still refuse to accept that the Nuggets had any shot at winning that series. In fact, even when they went up 2-1, I still didn't believe. When it was 2-2 and they were up 8 at the end of the third quarter in game 5, that was the first time I started to believe that I thought that the Nuggets actually could pull this monumental, historic upset off. And of course, they broke my heart, and the Thunder eviscerated them in the fourth quarter, just blew them to pieces in the fourth quarter, because that's what the Thunder can do. That's what they're capable of doing when they really try to actually play a consistent game from start to finish, when they're not busy choking and throwing up all over themselves. So, look, it's a nice, fun story for game one, night one of the NBA Finals. And hallelujah, we're not going to have some non-compelling 4-0 sweep where the Thunder just win by 30 points every game. But I don't think that this game is going to be an indicator or, a bell cow of any which direction that this series might be shifting. I still think the Thunder are going to win the series, and I still think it ain't going to be in 7. I could still see 5, maybe 6 now because of Indiana getting this game. Whew. Gary, that's 21 minutes of basically not even taking a breath. So let's say hello to Gary. We're floating around 800 here in Skap After Dark in this live stream tonight. So welcome to all of you 800-ish people that are here joining Gary and myself. And shout out to all of you guys who we're now up to 22 super chats now already in the first, make it 23 in the first 21 minutes, like a super chat a minute from you guys. Very generous. I'm very, very grateful for your guys' continued support and generosity in supporting me, Gary, the moderator, and the Skap Live After Dark session. Make it 24. My goodness, Gary, we really do need to get to these super chats because we're going to be here all damn night at this rate answering these questions. I will, as always, get to every single one, read every single one, answer every single one. But first, Gary, moderator Gary, welcome in. What's up? What say you on the heels of the shocking Tyrese Haliburton 0.3 of a second left game-winning shot, gave the Pacers their first lead of the entire game. So the Pacers didn't even lead for a full second of this game. Holy crap, Gary, please talk so I can take a drink of water.
So you're asking who this reminds us of. I can't recall at the top of my head anyone who's had this many game-winning shots in each series. You're talking about Kobe and Jordan haven't done it, but that's the thing. They haven't needed to do it because they're never down like that. So that's the reason why. But he does remind me. I admit he's reminding me a little of Reggie Miller. He's doing a Reggie, because Reggie would do stuff like this. I don't recall him doing it like once or twice in each series. But he's a streaky shooter. He would go cold at times, and then he could still come through at the end. But I'll tell you what this game does remind me of. It just reminds me of the 2001 finals when Iverson lifted the Sixers over the Lakers. And then, Sixers fans, Philadelphia fan base were getting some hope. And then, unfortunately, LA deflated them pretty quickly afterwards. And I think that's what is going to happen here.
Yeah, Gary, that's an interesting analogy because, well, first of all, the Lakers that year were minus 2,000. They're the biggest favorite in 68 since 1968. They're the biggest favorites in NBA Finals history, and they did drop that game 1. But people look at that team, that Sixers team, and think, "Oh boy, that's a monumental mismatch." Do you know, Gary? Did you know? And did you know, chat? That team, that Sixers team, I think they won only one fewer game than the Lakers that year. I think the Lakers. Hang on, let me see exactly. I think they won one fewer game, but I'm just going to look it up real quick. The Sixers won 56 games. The Lakers won 56. So it was not one fewer. It was the same. The Lakers, for some reason, had home court advantage. I don't even know. I guess maybe regular season head-to-head, and they beat the Sixers the 2 times they played. I don't even know what head-to-head tiebreak is in the NBA, but they both were 56-win teams that year. People talk about that like that was some monumental mismatch. which I guess it was according to Vegas, as the Lakers were minus 2,000. But the Sixers that year had the same number of wins, and not just that, Gary, and everyone on the chat right now. That year, the Sixers had the league MVP, the defensive player of the year, the sixth man of the year, and the coach of the year, all that season. And they won the same number of games, and yet everyone's like, oh, this is just a humongous mismatch. That was actually a great Sixers team, but that's just how good that Lakers team was. And you're right, they did win. But see, this is different. I think this game is different than that game because that, Gary, was almost solely Allen Iverson. He had like 50-some points. It was a classic all-time NBA performance in beating the Lakers in overtime in Staples in that game one. In this game, like, while Haliburton had a phenomenal finish, I mean, let's not sugarcoat it here. He, even with his great fourth quarter, because it wasn't just the game winner, he made some big shots down the stretch. He's still only 14 points on 6 of 13 shooting. So it's like he didn't have like a monumental game, but just a smooth team kind of performance by the Pacers. They had 6 guys in double digits. Every single starting player for the Pacers tonight was in double figures. Led actually by Pascal Siakam, 19 points on 7 of 15. And then Obi Toppin with 17 points off the bench. That to me is kind of the big story because the Pacers played 5 guys off the bench, and the Pacers bench kind of neutralized or actually outplayed the Oklahoma City Thunder bench. That to me is a massive surprise in this game. And maybe I have misread the series, and maybe I have misread Indiana to some degree, because we have talked about how good they are as a team and how well built they are and structured from top to bottom. And maybe they are. Maybe they do just have, better depth than I had given them, props for having, because I've just been drooling over the Oklahoma City Thunder's bench and their depth to this point. But, I think it's a fair analogy you make because, yes, the Lakers dropped that game. Then they gentlemen swept after that. And I'm trying to think of other instances. I don't want to bring up the Miami Oklahoma City Thunder because that's one video that you've got out that you discuss, and you talk about like other factors which influenced that series. But that was another one that the Thunder were up 1-0 and then they lost 4 straight. So like I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if the Thunder rattle off 4 straight at this point. But, they played their D game tonight, Gary. I just don't know how long they're going to sleep off. You're 4 games away. Like, they're going to be a historic team if they just close this out and end it. You would think in resounding fashion. You would hope they would end it in resounding fashion. Just get it over with, and you're a historic team. You're regaled as one of the great individual teams ever with what they did with their regular season resume and then into the playoffs with Shea getting the MVP. And they show up with their D effort in game 1 of the NBA Finals at home. And even with their D effort, they're still up 15 at nearing the midpoint of the fourth quarter. It's just disgusting to me. It is a disgusting performance by the Oklahoma City Thunder, but
and to verify, Shea went 2 of 4 on field goals in the fourth quarter, and it was 6 of 6 free throws. So he had 10 points in the fourth quarter, but it was only 2 of 4. And as the leader, I think you need to be more aggressive than that.
I mean, that's a fine quarter, Gary. It's a fine quarter, and it's a fine game. 38 points, but yes, on 30 shots. But still, it's a fine game. If you win, like you can't, and this is no double standards. Like I would come on here if the Bucks were playing the Oklahoma City Thunder and Giannis had that game and lost, and defend Giannis and protect Giannis. I would come on here if the Nuggets were playing the Thunder and Jokic had that game and lost. I would come on here and defend Jokic. If Haliburton had that game tonight, if Haliburton had 38 on 14 of 30 and lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder, I would come on here and defend Haliburton because those teams don't have what Shea has. It's not the same. You have been blessed with this situation. Blessed. It is your responsibility, your duty to get this over the top. So I don't want to see the stats. It's same with LeBron. when LeBron had his stacked super teams. And I'm not saying Shea is the same as LeBron, because Shea didn't do the seedy, underhanded, gutless things that LeBron did to amass the teams that he had. So I'm not trying to draw any correlation in that regard to Shea and LeBron. But what I am saying is LeBron gets more criticism than any of the other players that I do defend, because much is expected from LeBron, because he has the requisite supporting cast to win. He is expected to win. When you have great teams built around you, you should win. Shea has the best team in the NBA by a lot built around him right now. He's the league MVP. Get it done. No excuses. Now, I expect that he will. I expect that he will come back and play magnificent the rest of the series, and I expect that the Oklahoma City Thunder will win this series. But if they don't, this is going to be an absolute monumental, legacy-staining crap job by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And I don't care what the hell he averages. He could average 45 points per game for the next 5 or 6, 7 games. And if he loses, it goes right in the chamber, right in the poop chamber with LeBron James in the 2011 finals against the Mavericks. I mean, as one of the biggest choke jobs in NBA history. It would go right there to me. Those would be the two, in my estimation, biggest ever. So no excuses for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was good enough tonight. He had a passable performance. But you have this good of a team. You have this big of a talent discrepancy from your opponents. There's no excuses left for you. Like, whatever you have to do, whatever more need be done, you just have to do it. I don't want to hear the excuses when you have that. Please give Luka Doncic this team. Just take Shea off of the roster. Give it to Luka. Give it to Jokic. Give it to Giannis. Those guys aren't complaining and whining. And you know what? If they're losing with this team, I'm criticizing them too. But those guys don't get the requisite criticism because they haven't been blessed with it like Shea has. And Shea wasn't even drafted by them. Most of this talent was drafted homegrown by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shea was lucky enough, blessed enough, fortunate enough to ride a trade, the Paul George trade from the Clippers. The Clippers, that moribund, dreadful ass franchise, which last time in the Skap Lounge, Gary and I were posed a question: who is the worst franchise in NBA history? Resoundingly, both Gary and I agreed immediately: the Clippers. That was Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's future. He was lucky enough to get paroled out of there and then have this team built around him. Finish it. Finish it. No excuses. Gary, wow. I am heated right now. I am just shocked. I'm stupefied that the Thunder have lost this game. But this are now
good. This is good because we were afraid. As you were afraid for a sweep, I said I think in 5, could still be 5, but maybe it gets pushed to a game 6. This is good. This makes more interesting finals because that's what we are afraid of, is that we're going to have one of the worst finals of all time. Or at least since Spurs and Cavaliers in 07.
Well, maybe this, this will make it more interesting, more watchable, I'm sure. Gary, we are 33 minutes into the Skap Live After Dark Lounge here. We still are teetering around that 730 mark. Welcome into all of you. I think we topped out a little over 800 at some point. Typically, we can bank on about 250 to 350 in here. So we have about double the people in here in the lounge. Welcome to all of you in the lounge. If you are new, great to have you. Welcome aboard. Welcome to the party, pal. As the legendary John McClane once said at the top of Nakatomi Towers, welcome to the party. We welcome you. Gary, the moderator, is the voice that you're hearing. If you're not familiar with moderator Gary, again, we're 34 minutes in now. We are about to hit the midnight hour here on the East Coast in the US of A, where I hail from. We have a little international feel here, a little global appeal, if you will. People coming from all over the world in many different markets. So welcome into all of you. And again, if you are just joining us, I typically ramble on, rant, do something, unpack the game in some capacity, mix it up with Gary for a little bit for about 30 minutes. We're right at about the 35-minute mark now. And then after that, I like to get in, just roll my sleeves up, and start talking to all of you guys and addressing these super chats. I see we have over, I don't know, 1,500 comments in a half an hour in the general chat, which I am also keeping my eye on. Thank you guys for all of your activity there. And we have an unbelievable amount of super chats already. I cannot believe we have 29 right now in 35 minutes. So, moderator Gary, what do you say we start looking at some of these super chats, reading some of them, answering them, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people dancing on my grave and yours tonight, Gary. A lot of "I told you so's" on doubting the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah,
so
we're not in the grave yet. We're not in the grave quite yet.
Yeah. Let's get to the first one.
We got a scratch on our arm. We've
Right,
got a scratch on our arm, but we're still standing. We're not even down to our knees yet. So
let's welcome in Super Q.
And go down to the next one. Because I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. You're right.
Got Super Q 2Q is in. Thank you, Super Q 2Q, for sliding into the sponsor area and supporting us here. Gary, go ahead and read this one. I think there's probably going to be a lot of Pacers prop bets going on against me now, making me do things or wanting me to do things. So go ahead and start us off here with Super Q.
Okay, the first one he says is wow. And in the next one, he comes down and says, Skap has to wear a Pacers headband if Pacers win again, man. Well, that's pretty tame.
If they win again, I mean, I'd have to find a Pacers headband first. Maybe I guess I could look on Amazon and have that sent my way. When's the next game, Gary? Sunday, I think.
Yep.
All right. We'll see what I can do. But thank you, Super Q. Next in, we've got Sully's Tech Hub, a regular who is one of our primary sponsors here, big friend of the show. Thank you, Sully, for your continued support and kindness to us. Go ahead and read this one from Sully, Gary.
Mom, get the camera. I've never seen someone so resoundingly obliterate an accusation of being overrated in my life. Even if they lose the series, Haliburton has made his case.
Could not possibly agree more. Co-sign the hell out of this one. I talked about it at the top at some point throughout my rant about Haliburton and these overrated allegations that he was. I need to find out. Someone send a message in the regular chat. And Gary, if you can, just keep a little eye on that if you can. What was this overrated? Who voted on this thing calling him overrated? Whatever it is, yeah, we need to rescind that in some way, burn it to the ground. Haliburton is a stud. This guy's I don't care that his dad is a complete idiot. That I disagree with what his father did in the aftermath of that Milwaukee Bucks series. I still would probably I wouldn't ban him from the building, but I think he does not belong anywhere near the court. I would stick him. I would say, look, your kid's obviously a star player on this team. You're of course welcome in the building, but you got to be in the box. Like, you have to be upstairs. He doesn't belong anywhere near the court again after what happened in that game, but still that doesn't reflect negatively. Go ahead, Gary.
I've got it for you. I looked it up. It says Haliburton was referring to the Athletics annual anonymous player poll there. A total of 158 individuals voted, and Haliburton was the most popular choice for the most overrated. The 25-year-old earned 14.4% of that vote to beat out. Do you have an idea off the top of your head who the runner-up was?
LeBron.
Rudy Gobert.
Oh, okay. Yep. That does not surprise me.
Yeah.
So Gary, let's unpack that. So 150 people voted on that. There are roughly 420 to 430 NBA players, I think. So about a third of the league voted, and he got 15% of the votes to be the most overrated player in the NBA based on his peer assessment. And you know what? I think Tyrese Haliburton should say to all of his peers in the NBA after this series, regardless of how it ends, tell me how my earth tastes. I think he needs to go back to a classic and oldie, the Shaquille O'Neal, tell me how my earth tastes rap. And Haliburton should just rap that. If they win the final, I don't think they're going to win the series, but if they do, he should have Shaq come up to the stage with him when he receives the Finals MVP, and he and Shaq should do a duo of "Tell Me How My Ass Tastes" for the entire NBA to behold for voting this kid stud that he is. Overrated, ridiculous, Sully. I could not echo that more. We got Dylan Davis in next, another regular. Gary, Dylan is getting at you. He's come for you. He's got the little eye emojis. Let me read this one since it's to you, Gary. Dylan says, "What's good, Gary?" with the little eye emoji thingies. So he's, I don't know. He's got some agenda with you, Gary.
Well, because I specifically told him on our last live stream that Indiana has no chance. Life is good, Dylan. Everything's good. What's good with you, man? I'm not budging from my position. I even said I thought it would go in 5, and it still might. But now it's looking like maybe it'll go 6. Everything's good, Dylan. What's good with you? And what is good is this new video I put out has over 11,000 views in the first day. I'm going to send a link to the chat. It's got a lot of very positive feedback. So I'm going to put a link in there. So hopefully you guys can check that out. So I'd say that's good, Dylan. My new video is good. And Dylan, I encourage you to go check it out after this live stream when you get a chance, as well as the rest of the chat. Hope to see some of you over there.
Very solid, Gary. Congratulations on that. You guys should all check that out for sure. And speaking of our live, now for those of you who don't know, we are in the Skap After Dark Lounge. In fact, I just noticed it. Let me change my media asset in the upper right corner there. It says just Skap Attack. We need to get the Skap Live After Dark because we are Skap Live After Dark right now. And for those of you who do not know, all of you regulars that are here following the games and unpacking these playoff games with us throughout this playoff run, basically since the second round on, Gary and I slid onto a little afternoon lounge like 2 days ago. And Gary and I got into a spirited NFL debate because Gary and I were talking about the biggest upsets. What would the Pacers winning this series constitute in terms of historic upsets all time throughout sports? And we started talking about the 2001 Patriots Rams Super Bowl, the young, not rookie, but second year Tom Brady, who didn't play his rookie year, that upset the greatest show on turf. And there was some talk about, maybe the Pacers were going to pull a Patriots. So Samson the Current has slid in here and is just, rekindling the fire from that little debate between Gary and myself. He is already calling the Thunder the Rams. He is calling for the series-wide choke job, which would be a monumental choke job for the Choke City Thunder. So we'll see, Samson. I still think we're a very, very, very long way away from that. The Denver Nuggets, again, had these guys down 2-1 and still did not pull out the series. Now, they did take it 7, which was crazy to me that they got it 7. So maybe the Pacers are about to turn this into a lengthy series as well. Vacation Wealth Partners. Vacation Wealth Partners is a very generous benefactor of us here in the Skap Live Lounge. I know I've just leafing through these. I see that Vacation Wealth Partners has a number of other things in for us. So I just want to give Vacation Wealth Partners a shout out first and foremost here. And we'll get to your other ones throughout. I'm very far behind, guys, so I apologize to all of you out there. Stick with me. I will get to all of these. Gary, go ahead and read this first one from Vacation Wealth Partners.
I have a strong feeling more bananas are coming for Skap.
I don't even want to know what I have not seen our banana friend in these comments yet. I don't even want to know. Probably brewing up some insane banana ask for me if the Pacers win the series. I don't even know what guys, I might not even be able to stream if the Pacers win this series. You guys might all have to go over to OnlyFans for the post game live stream for that one, because I don't even know what our resident banana lover might possibly have me doing with bananas if the Pacers actually pull this thing off. I don't believe it's going to happen, but Gary, I did mention I'm leafing through some of these. I have to jump ahead real quick to my main guy, Luke Jett, who I have shouted out many times. I will continue to shout Luke out. I'm on Jason Whitlock's show, Fearless, from time to time, and Luke is one of the primary players there. He works in studio on all of those shows. Very talented young fellow. Unfortunately for him, though, he is a big, as he says it, Choklahoma City fan. He's a big OK City fan. So I just have to shout Luke out. Luke, my brother, condolences. Don't worry. They're going to win the series. Don't sweat it. But you are going to have to listen to my insufferable self rant against them and call them choking dogs for like 2 more days, like 48 hours, until they can wash this stench off of themselves. You're going to have to hear me just go ahead and bury your boy, SGA, and also Mark Dagnall. Some of this has to fall on Dagnall. Coach of the year from last year routinely has them choking these games away against like crazily inferior teams. But Gary, go ahead and read my guy Luke's super chat here. And Luke, thank you so much for your generosity in sliding into the lounge and sponsoring us here.
Being a Choklahoma City fan is so fun. Call more fouls on SGA, refs. Well, isn't that what fans were complaining about, saying SGA was getting too many calls? So I guess Luke is in favor of that.
Yeah, we'll see. I think he was trying to do a little foul baiting situation towards the end of the game. He missed his last 2 shots. One was just a bad jumper. One was he got blocked, I think. And I think it happened fast. I have to go back and probably rewatch it. I hopped on here quickly. I was literally shocked. I just couldn't believe it. I've been watching playoff basketball for 30 years, and I honestly never felt like there was any chance that the Pacers were going to win that game. Like the entire game, even up until there was 20 seconds left, I still was just like, well, this is an amusing effort by the Pacers, but the Thunder are in no jeopardy of losing this game until they were. Like they never trailed. The Thunder never trailed until there were 0.3 of a second left in the game. So I need to go back and rewatch the end, but I'm pretty sure Shea missed his last 2 shots. They were both bad shots. I think he was trying to foul bait instead of, again, we've been saying it, like, I think he overemphasizes the foul thing. I think he is a great foul shooter and he does get a lot of calls, but just go and try to make a basketball move, try to make a basket, let the foul come as a result of making a good basketball move and trying to make a basket. Don't just go in looking for a foul. I think he got caught in at least one of those misses in a bad attempt, and he really had no shot because he just went in, he didn't get the whistle, and then he had to improvise from there. Okay, I think we left off right after Vacation Wealth Partners. And again, thank you, Vacation Wealth Partners. We will get to your other very generous super chats here momentarily. We've got the enforcer in now, who, again, I know I sound like a broken record here, but you guys, it's the same people, my same loyal following that is continually coming out here and dropping us these very generous super chats. So the enforcer, many thanks to you for coming in yet again and sponsoring us here, Gary. I'm sure there will probably be more from the enforcer somewhere along the line here, but read this first one from the enforcer.
Is this the most recent exciting finals? Maybe we have our answer. Further proof to me that OKC isn't ready to be as successful as their talent is good. I thought the Suns-Bucks finals was actually good.
No, I agree. And the Suns were they were up 2-0 in that series. And then the Bucks won 4 straight. And it was a crazy closeout game. Yeah. Really close. Giannis had 50. He's not a good free throw shooter typically. I think he was 19 of 23 or something like that from the free throw line. So you're right, Gary. That Suns Thunder series or Suns Bucks series was a good finals. And enforcer, we'll see. I think the verdict is still out. One good game at the front end of the series does not a good series make. I hope it is. I hope that this goes 7. I'll be wrong, I guess, if it does. I'll gladly admit that I am at that point, regardless of which way it goes. I did not see this being an interesting or lengthy series. So I hope so, because like Gary said, I sure would like to see a compelling series, but so far it's just one game. We'll see what the next game holds for us. Actually, as I always do at this stage, I like to climb on and look at the line for the next game. So let me just see what Sunday's line. It is 11.5. So even after losing this game and being down 0-1, it is still 11.5 is the
What
open
was it
line.
for game one?
What's that?
What was the line for game one?
It opened at 9.5. It bumped up to 10.5 by tip-off. So tonight before tip-off, it was 10.5.
So the Pacers win game one, and now the line increases for game two. So that goes to show you how much of a favorite OKC is, which leads us to our next super chat. From Dylan, I was called delusional. Well, Dylan, if you think the Pacers are going to win this series, you still are delusional. We still love you, though, all the same. It doesn't matter.
Gary, is this also it's you? Did you call Dylan delusional? Is it?
You know what? I don't know if I did, but I wouldn't be surprised. But if I didn't, I'll say it now. Dylan, if you think the Pacers are going to win this series, you are indeed delusional. But we love our delusional fans in here.
It could have been me, Gary. I might have thrown an unintentional. I might have thrown an unintentional bomb at Dylan because I was just saying that the people on the chat that are saying that the Pacers were going to win the series needed drug tested.
I think it was you and it was me.
Right.
I think it's both of us. So and of course he's shouting you out, "What's up, Skap?" Because he's kind of throwing it in your face as if you're supposed to take back the delusional and the drug testing remarks now. Skap, are you ready to take it? Are you ready to issue an apology to Dylan? Are you ready to repent and say, I was wrong, Dylan, you were right? Are you ready for that?
I don't think so, Gary. Again, my main takeaway tonight, just you can tell by the title, the Choke City Thunder dropped game one. Like I'm putting the totality of this epic choke job completely on the Choke City Thunder. I'm really not giving the Pacers much credit at all for it. They're just a willing participant in a team throwing up all over themselves in Oklahoma City, who was up by, again, 15 points with 9 minutes to go at home in a game. They were double-digit favorites in a series. They are substantial, overwhelming favorites to win in. This is just, to me, it's 100% on Oklahoma City. But perhaps I overrated the Oklahoma City Thunder, not about how good they are, about their mental makeup, their mental strength and capacity to show up in these games. Maybe I overlooked that, which I knew they could get complacent. I'm just shocked that it happened in game one. Next, we've got Fernando Lopez. And Fernando, many thanks to you for coming in and sponsoring us here in the Skap Live After Dark Lounge. Gary, go ahead and read this generous donation that Fernando has bestowed upon us. Read the question or comment which follows it.
I like the second portion of this, and I was actually saying that you're saying, well, look what Haliburton has done, who's like this. Well, one thing I was going to point out is that, well, we do know LeBron has never been like that. He's never hit a game-winning shot against a better opponent, only if someone is outmatched. So Fernando Lopez says, notice how Hallie was not the best player the whole game, but still wanted the ball for the last shot. True killer gene. I'm in total agreement, Fernando. LeBron would have made the right play and scapegoated his teammate if they missed.
Yeah, totally agree as well. Co-sign this one majorly, 100%. Like I said, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Haliburton has been unbelievably clutch throughout these playoffs. Like I said, I struggle to remember a player that has made these many like massive game-winning type shots down the stretch in every tier of the playoffs, every level of the playoffs. First, second, conference finals, and now the NBA finals. Like every series, every round that we went, Haliburton has been massive. The kid obviously has the it factor, the gene, the killer mentality. He's just a great player, and he's he does other things too. Like he brings he creates mismatches for teammates. He brings multiple players to the ball, brings two players to the ball, so to speak, creates those mismatches for teammates, gets guys good looks, but then he's also there to finish and close games out. He's a great player. Like I can't say enough great things about Tyrese Haliburton. He's an absolute star. He's a budding, absolute, undeniable stud in today's NBA. He needs to get that respect put on his name real quick. We need to wipe off this BS overrated moniker that his peers saddled him with coming into the playoffs. Again, that's just got to get flushed right down the drain. Just flush it. And Tyrese needs to ask the entire NBA peer set how his ass tastes following this legendary playoff run by him. I've mentioned Vacation Wealth Partners, who is one of our most, generous benefactors here, sponsors in the lounge. So I knew that Vacation Wealth Partners was going to be back in. So go ahead and read this most recent one from Vacation Wealth Partners, Gary.
If Pacers do somehow pull this off, Rick Carlisle is on my Mount Rushmore of all-time coaches. He's up. If they pull this off, he will be up there. He was the Mavericks coach in 2011, right? Yeah, that was a great upset. So
yeah, I can't disagree with that. I think he's won Coach of the Year at least once, maybe twice. He's also been fired a couple times somehow. This would be, honestly, I have to look. I'm not even thinking about them winning the series at this point. Just like I wasn't thinking about the Denver Nuggets winning the series until there was 12 minutes left in Game 5 with an 8-point lead. That was the first time I allowed myself to think maybe the Nuggets were going to win the series. So it's going to take, look, the Pacers are probably going to they'll have to be up like 3-0 or something. Like, even if they win next game, I'm still not going to think that the Thunder are going to lose the series. That's how much better the Thunder are than the Pacers in my estimation. But I need to look at it. If the Pacers win this series, like, just the playoff run in general is going to be one of the greatest playoff runs in NBA history. I mean, you beat Giannis Antetokounmpo. Say what you will about their team and the direction the team was on and them not having Dame, but whatever. You beat a historical, top 15 player in his prime in Giannis Antetokounmpo to start the playoffs. Then you beat the 64-win Cavs, who is I don't want to say historically great, but 64 wins is 64 wins. And they had, I think, 3 separate win streaks of like 12 games or more throughout the regular season. They were a great regular season team. They had a first-team All-NBA performer in Donovan Mitchell. They had the Defensive Player of the Year in Mobley. That was a great freaking team. And for them to beat that team as massive underdogs, then go in against the 50-win Knicks and beat them, do them the way they did them. And if they come in here and now beat the 68-win Oklahoma City Thunder, as they're like the 4 or 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. This would be one of the great playoff runs ever, for sure. One of the best coaching jobs, and just a masterpiece by Tyrese Haliburton if he pulls this off. Go ahead, Gary.
And Rick Carlisle, still a great coach, even if they lose this series. Still done a great job this season.
Definitely. Next in, we've got Bands Nabs. Welcome back in, Bands Nabs, one of our continual sponsors here as well in the lounge. Thank you for your continued support. Go ahead, Gary, and read this one, though I see there's some kind of political stuff that I likely won't get into, but go ahead and read it anyway.
Yeah, Bands, we're not going to get into that second portion there, but the first portion definitely is interesting. Why would Team World care about playing for Team not USA, and Team USA don't like USA? Don't think it'll work.
It's and then there's something about Trump versus Elon. Quite frankly, I do follow politics fairly closely, usually. But that usually has not coincided with the last 2 months. So because once the playoffs started mid-April, like, I don't know if it doesn't have to do with the NBA or maybe the NFL. I did put an Aaron Rodgers video out today on him signing with my childhood team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. So that video is up on my channel right now. But if it doesn't have anything to do with sports, I don't really know what the hell's going on. So I actually have other friends. I just saw a text message. I have like 90 missed text messages from this one group chain. And they're like, Jay, seriously, what's your take on this Trump Elon thing? So I'm getting it. I'm getting badgered by my close personal friends too. And my answer to them is the same as to you. I don't even really know what's going on, because if it doesn't have to do with sports right now until probably June, 18th, 19th ish, when this series ends, I'm not going to really know. But I did also, to your first point, put out a video today about Team World versus Team USA. That's going to be the next year's 2026 NBA All-Star format. It's going to be on NBC, smack dab in the middle of their coverage of the Winter Olympics. It's going to actually be in the daytime around Winter Olympic Games. So they're going to lead in NBC is with Winter Olympic Games before. Then they're going to go to the we don't know what the format is exactly yet, but some kind of a World versus US NBA All-Star game, then back to Olympic Games after that. I absolutely love it. I praised it. Adam Silver's, he's an idiot. He obviously makes terrible decisions. He's run the NBA into the ground, but I praise him in the video because I think this is a great idea. It's really, I don't know that he even should be praised because we've been talking about it for what seems like damn near 10 years. And finally, just now, he's finally making it happen after Giannis Antetokounmpo retweeted something a few days ago about this is what we should do. I think, look, the world to me has surpassed the United States in terms of basketball supremacy. Yes, if it's just one country versus the U.S. is still going to reign supreme, as we saw in the Olympics when they narrowly won the gold medal. Serbia, I think, outplayed them for the vast majority, like 98% of the game. Serbia outplayed them, and Serbia had literally three pros on their roster. Nikola Jokic, and the second best player, the guy that was traded from Atlanta to the Clippers his name is escaping me. But anyway, he was on the Hawks. He's a bench player on the Hawks. He was a bench player for the Clippers after he got traded. That was the second best player on that squad other than Jokic, and they should have beaten Team USA. But yes, one country versus the U.S., sure, still the U.S. But if you take all of the best players the world has to offer and pit them against the U.S., I don't even think it's a conversation. The world is significantly better. Like the 5 best players in the NBA are global players, in my opinion. The 7 of the top 14 BPM players this year were international players, and the top 5. So I don't think this is much of a hot take. The world is better. And I think if we market it properly, I think it can make for a compelling performance by the players in the All-Star game. If you start marketing it like for the next year saying the substantial powerhouse international team, that has surpassed Team USA. Like, what could the gritty underdog Americans possibly do to compete? Like, that has to be the narrative about how the globe has surpassed the Americans, because they have. I think, though, if we pump that enough for the next year, I think maybe the Americans might get sick enough of it that they might actually dig deep and find some semblance of pride to compete against the world stars. And then I think we might have a pretty compelling back and forth. So that's why I think, but it has to be done properly. It has to be marketed the right way. But great question, Vans Nabs. And sorry, I don't really know what's going on with Trump and Elon at this point. Maybe you can check back with me around June 18th, 19th, 22nd, whenever it is that this series ends. And I'll be more dialed in to global intel and news, and we can chat then. Until then, we've got my main man, Marco from Serbia. What is up, Marco? Shout out to you. Welcome back in to the lounge, the Skap After Dark lounge this time. And many thanks for your continued support. Gary, go ahead and read my main guy, my brethren from Serbia. Go ahead and read his latest comment to us.
How are you doing, bros? Skap, if you really visit Serbia, we'll provide you with anything you need. Burka, and I would take you to drink some Slovaca.
Nice. So it's Burka is the one. So Burka again has offered to drive me around as well, or just provide me with a vehicle for my stay. So I've got Burka and Marco in Serbia on standby, ready to hang out, ready to get some drinks in the motherland if I come. So hopefully. Yes, I was talking about it with my wife today. Maybe we can build some kind of an itinerary here, a little Eastern European swing, and I could come by and check out Serbia, and we can have some drinks, do maybe a live from some establishment, and talk about our boy Nikola Jokic, the great. So I'll definitely keep you, Marco, and Burka. I'm glad that you have showed me the pronunciation or how to pronounce that provided the pronunciation guide on that burqa, so I can stop speculating on that. Thank you for that as well. I will keep both of you guys. Obviously, I'll keep you informed. I will stay in touch. And yeah, that would be fun. That would be awesome if I can make that happen. Sully is back in. Sully's Tech Hub. Welcome back to you. Gary, what does this one say?
He's telling you the water is warm because OKC pissed in the pool.
For sure. 100%. I don't even want to speculate, Sully, what's involved in the pool right now. Like someone poop in the pool, pee in the pool. There might be chunks of vomit floating in the pool. I don't want to get too gross or X-rated here in the lounge. But yes, the Choklahoma City Thunder have polluted my lounge. My warm waters of my hot tub lounge have been polluted by whatever bodily fluid, excrement, whatever the heck is floating around in there, because the Choklahoma City Thunder just blew lunch all over the lounge tub in this game tonight. It was disgusting to behold. So yeah, great point, Marco. Great point, Sully, and welcome back into Marco, I should say. What is up, Marco? Another just checking in again with us here. Go ahead and read Marco's latest super chat to us, and thank you, Marco, for your continued support and generosity. Go ahead, Gary.
And if you want to drive a car here, learn manual stick. P.S. Quiz reminder for both of you. Are you asking a question? This feels incomplete to me, Marco.
Gary, do you know, maybe he's asking, do you know how to drive a stick?
No, I don't.
I do not either. But I am old school though. And I'm driving like an older vehicle right now. And when I borrow friends' cars, or if I'm using a rental or whatever, I don't even know how to operate cars anymore. Like keys don't go in the ignition anymore. There's like there's like buttons and shit in there. Like you have to like move the little shifter like up, back, down. Like you need to do some kind of a damn like cycle through like some specified up down thing to even get it to go and drive or reverse. There's computer screens all over the damn place. Things beeping at me if I'm not looking at the road ahead. I mean, there's cameras that come up at every stoplight. I don't know what the hell is going on. It's like I'm driving damn spaceship whenever I borrow a friend's car or rent a vehicle. So while I do not know how to drive stick, Marco, I am intrigued because I want to get off the grid. I want to go back to analog things. I need a new vehicle, but I don't want it to be one of these spaceship computer vehicles. So maybe I do need to learn to drive stick, and then I'll be ready when I make my trip to Serbia. So that sounds like a plan to me. We've got 10-1 Love 10. Welcome back in. Yet another repeat sponsor of us here. Many thanks to you, 10-1 Love 10. Gary, go ahead and read the question or comment from them.
If, and I mean if, Indy wins game 2, what then?
Well, then, I would say, because look, when the Knicks, squandered that big lead back in game 1 against these Pacers, I said to myself, and I said here, look, I still think the Knicks have a shot, maybe. Gary, you were more on them in 7 than me. I actually flip-flopped my pick to Pacers in 6 when the Knicks blew their big lead. And that was a 14-point lead with 2.5 minutes to go. So an even more egregious choke job. And then when they lost game 2, I said that it might be a sweep. So I basically flip-flopped my pick last round when the Pacers won game 1. The Thunder are so good that I still think, even if they go down 0-2, I still think they have what it takes to win 4 out of the next 5 games against the Pacers, even though 3 of the 5 will be in Indiana. So they would need to win, I guess, 2 in Indiana, and then they would need to win their 2 home games. But I still think they're so much better. I still think they would have a shot. But I must admit, if they go down 0-2 at home, I might be wavering on my pick a bit. I would still probably hold to Thunder in 7 at that point, but I would be sweating a little bit on my pick. My preseason pick that I picked back in September. We got next in Mikhail Sungarov. Oh, I like that. I like that name. I like that handle, Mikhail. Thank you for coming in and sponsoring us. I do appreciate you, Gary. What does Mikhail have for us tonight?
Well, we're not going to confirm this on this channel, but he says Tyrese practices some black magic rituals.
I mean, with the amount of absurdity that this guy has pulled out down the stretch in numerous, like too many games to count, like 5, 6 postseason games in, I don't know how they played like 20 games in like six, whatever, 5, 6, 7 games of their games. He's just making these absurd last second shots, insane game winning plays. He's an incredible clutch performer. He's been amazing in these playoffs. And, the Pacers have just been doing this. I'm shocked that it happened against such a superior opponent in Oklahoma City. But they've been doing it all playoff long, where they're just coming back from these seemingly insurmountable deficits in the fourth quarter. They just keep doing it over and over and over again. And a lot of that is led by Tyrese Haliburton, who just has, it's an old-timey sports saying, a sports cliche, if you will, ice water in the veins. It is more applicable for this kid than anyone I've seen in recent times. So I don't know, Mikhail, what he's utilizing, but it's something. He's doing something that I haven't seen in a while. Bands Nabs is back in again. What do we got from Bands Nabs this time, Gary?
I love this question. How does this upset affect LeBron's legacy?
I don't really know. I don't think in any way, Bands Nabs, actually.
Well, it just shows that LeBron's never done anything. Like Haliburton just pulled off a game-winning shot against a vastly superior team. And and it just showcases LeBron's never done anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron's just a front runner. I mean, he stacks the deck. He plays well from ahead. He plays well as a front runner. And he also, credit to LeBron, he actually does play pretty well as like a big time underdog. Like when he has no expectations, which is not very often, Gary. We saw it, early in his career in Cleveland when he went to the finals and then got swept by your Spurs. We saw it in 2018 after they traded Kyrie Irving away and no one expected anything from them then in that final year with Cleveland in his second iteration with them. And he had a great run. So like whenever nobody's expecting anything, he does well. But if all things are even, he could just completely craps down his leg more times than not. He's an epic playoff choker in my estimation. And yes, he's a front runner. Like 2 super team rings with Miami, then a super team ring with Cleveland, even though people will say that was this big underdog win. It really wasn't. Yes, they were down 3-1. Yes, the Golden State Warriors had won 73 games in the regular season that year, but they were a different team in the playoffs. Zaza Pachulia got hurt. Draymond got suspended. Steph Curry hurt his ankle. He was hobbling around. While they lost only 9 games in the regular season, did that Golden State Warriors team, they lost 9 freaking games in the postseason. So in 82 games, they lost only 9 games. They were 73-9, but in the playoffs, they were 15-9. So they were just different. They were down 3-1 in the Western Conference Finals against the Thunder. So they were different, and Kyrie Irving was an absolute beast in that series. He outplayed Steph Curry in that 7-game final series because that was a super team. Like Cleveland just was better ultimately in the context of a 7-game series than that Golden State team. That's how damn good they were. They were good enough to stand toe-to-toe with a 73-win regular season team and be better than that. Super team. So 3 super team rings for LeBron, and then a top 5 player league-wide in Anthony Davis in the bubble, in that abomination format that was the Disney bubble in the 2020, which became the 2021 NBA playoffs. Those are his 4 rings. Who cares? They're all garbagey, mercenary, super team rings. So yeah, I guess good point there, Gary, in weaving some kind of a point out of Bands Nab's LeBron legacy question involving this series. And now finally, I referenced Lester earlier, and now Lester is in. Lester's Banana is in, and as we know, Lester is obsessed with bananas and making me do things with bananas. I ate a banana for Lester on this live stream when the Pacers won, when they eliminated the Knicks officially. I was on here eating a banana for Lester, but I cut it up. I did not make it a suggestive banana eating, but I have a feeling Lester's going to come up with something where I said earlier that my reaction stream will have to be on OnlyFans if the Pacers somehow win this. But yes, Lester's banana, Gary, I'll read this one, is indicating that we are only 3 wins away from banana time.
And if you go down, you want to jump on his next follow-up?
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yep. We'll jump ahead. Mike Ross, we will be right back for you. But Lester's banana has a follow-up.
And you can read this one too.
Go ahead. I'll read this one, Gary, since it's to you. Lester's banana wants moderator Gary to also eat a banana on the live stream if the Pacers win. Gary, what say you to Lester's proposal? His indecent proposal, possibly. That's an old-timey movie, guys. Gary, what say you to that banana?
I say that Pacers won't win. But if they do win, I'll have to substitute something for a banana because the potassium in there hurts my kidney. So maybe an avocado.
Gary, I think Lester wants something more phallic shaped. So Lester, why don't you consider some similarly phallic shaped?
No. The good thing is we don't have to worry about it. The Pacers aren't going to win anyways. So
Gary, what about those big ass carrots? Like those huge, like
I eat carrots. I can eat a carrot.
Okay, there you go, Lester. I'll do the banana. Gary can do the humongous carrot, like those huge ass, like 12-inch long carrots. This is going off the rails for sure. We'll be doing Skap's live stream from the OnlyFans after that if the Pacers win. Mike Ross, welcome in, brah. Welcome to the party, pal. Thank you for joining us here and for sponsoring us here on the live stream. I do appreciate you so much, Gary. What is the question or comment from Mike Ross?
Shout out to the chat saying cucumber, Gary. I could do a cucumber.
Why not just go all blown eggplant? Why not just go?
I don't eat that. I eat cucumbers and I eat carrots though on my specific diet. So I have cucumbers and carrots in the house. So yeah, I could do that. All right, we'll get back on track here. Mike Ross, shout out. Are we really about to see OKC choke away a historic season again? Also, thoughts on USA versus the world for the All-Star break. Is this confirmed? The US versus world for next year?
It is. That's awesome. So, Mike, I do apologize. I'm really far behind. This is an hour ago you sent this. So it's 12:38. You sent this at 11:33. So I apologize it's so long ago, but hopefully you're still on. And hopefully you heard my long diatribe about this earlier. I love it. I'm a big fan of it. Finally, at long last, the nincompoop commissioner, Adam Silver, as I like to call him, Nosferatu, Commissioner Nosferatu, has finally heard the will of the people, and we are going to do a all-star game or some format. Adam Silver was on, it was called Breakfast Ball, and he was discussing it, and he confirmed it. He did not tell us what the exact format is going to be, but he referenced the NHL like tournament of the worlds or whatever. So it could be a multiple day tournament or something, which would be really cool, I think. So we'll have to just wait and see what direction he goes. But yes, it is confirmed, Gary, in some capacity, it will be the world versus US. So I absolutely love it, Mike, to your point. And I just still refuse to accept that Oklahoma City, even if they're down 2-0, I don't even think I'm going to believe it. But we'll wait and see what happens on Sunday. Again, 11.5-point favorites on Sunday. So we'll see if that line moves at all. My expectation is it might move up. So we'll see what mentality the Pacers come out with. We've seen them not get complacent, though. Most big underdogs, or really any teams in general, would be pretty happy about themselves, pretty complacent getting that split and winning game one. But the Pacers, look, they just did it against the Knicks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and they weren't complacent. They came out and got game 2 too. So we'll see what mentality they come out with against Oklahoma City and how Oklahoma City rebounds. I expect the Thunder to win that game by like 40 points. So we shall see. Next in is Karthik Shankar. Welcome back into you, Karthik. Many thanks to you for your continued support for us here. Go ahead, Gary, and read the question or comment from Karthik here.
Deja vu, Denver OKC series. OKC in 7. Question.
Yeah, deja vu in the sense that, the Thunder playing with their food, just jerking around here, choking all over themselves, playing like dogs, putting up minuscule and pitiful effort. So yeah, it could be deja vu. They F around and then find out what a long, lengthy series looks like. But ultimately, the Thunder are just so much more talented than every team in the NBA, specifically this Indiana Pacers team. So we'll see. I still think this will be less than 7. The Thunder, look, they somehow lost. I still don't know. I watched all the games. I still don't understand how Denver was allowed to get 3 wins in that series. I don't know that the Pacers are going to find their way to 3, but obviously it's not going to be 4. It's not going to be a sweep. So we'll see. Again, we'll see what game 2 holds in store for us. Next in is Will N. What is up, Will? Welcome back into you yet again, another regular. Thank you so much for your continued support of us here. Gary, go ahead and read this latest one from Will N.
This one's pretty humorous. I'm just visualizing the referees looking at each other and they're perplexed, like, what do we do? What do we do? The refs are torn on who to help more since they're used to helping both in each conference.
Well, there's obviously, it's been well publicized, the Oklahoma City Thunder. The whistles, they really don't get on defense. Like, they're just allowed to mug and obliterate opposing teams typically. And then if you sneeze on Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's, parading to the free throw line. I thought this was a pretty evenly called game tonight. I think the free throw, like I said, the free throw discrepancy was marginal. It was, I think that I said that the Thunder shot 24 and I think the Pacers shot 21. Let me just confirm that. Yes, the Pacers shot 21, 15 of 21. The Thunder were 21 of 24. So pretty marginal in terms of just the free throw discrepancy. I thought the calls really just were marginal. It was officiating was like a non-factor in my estimation. There was one late review, which was out of bounds on Pascal Siakam. And there was a review to see if it was a foul. I thought I was hoping that they would not call a foul upon review on the Thunder. They didn't. The Thunder retained possession. I think Shai missed the go-ahead shot there, and then that opened the door. Then the next shot was the Haliburton shot with 0.3 of a second left. So I thought the officiating was pretty clean, pretty even tonight. Next in is Bob M. Again, back in. Thank you, Bob M. Welcome back in. And Bob M was not. We speculated before maybe Bob M was Bob Myers. It was not Bob Myers. So go ahead and read this question or comment from a very generous donation from not Bob Myers, but Bob M. Gary, go ahead with it.
By the way, I'm not Bob Myers. Haliburton is Reggie Miller in 2025 with the big shot. But Skap, 14 points is 14 points in a final game. Siakam won Eastern Conference MVP. Not overrated. KD is still the biggest B.
So, yeah, Bob is not a big fan of KD.
Okay, just cut out Bob. I want you to watch my video and then come back in this chat and you tell me what you think about KD because you're going to change your perspective and you're going to put some respect on that man's name. Sorry, go ahead, Skap. I'm going to put the link in there for you to check out after this live stream, Bob.
And then, quite frankly, Gary, you drew the correlation earlier between Haliburton and Reggie Miller. I think this is beyond Reggie Miller. Yes, Reggie Miller was very clutch. He's one of the top, 5, 6 clutch players that I think of off the top of my head in NBA history. But in terms of a one playoff type run, I said, I haven't seen anything like this before. This is just insane clutch antics by Haliburton, almost in a class of his own at this point throughout this postseason run. It's crazy. I'm gonna have to look back at this at the end of the postseason and do something on him. But yeah, humongous shots for him. 14. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
Haliburton, like I said earlier, Haliburton's been down because this Pacers team is not that good. Reggie Miller's Pacers were better. They had the Davis brothers, not brothers, but the Davis guys, Smiths, backcourt with Travis Best and Mark Jackson. Then later had Jermaine O'Neal and Ron Artest. He was on some good teams. So they were up a lot more than Haliburton. So he wasn't required to hit this many game shots because he wasn't down this often.
But it makes it all the more impressive that his team is not that good.
Also, the defense was stronger back then as well. So I'm not ready to say Haliburton's better than Reggie Miller. He's not better than Reggie Miller.
All I can say is I've not seen. I'm going to have to go and evaluate.
He was going against Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. Let's pump the brakes here. The only reason Reggie never won a championship is because of Kobe and Jordan. So let's not sit up here and say Haliburton is on Reggie's level.
I'm not saying he's better than Reggie Miller right now, but this is better than any playoff run I ever saw Reggie Miller have.
Because his Pacers team was a lot better. This Pacers team is not very
Gary,
good.
I mean no disrespect to Reggie Miller. I mentioned Kobe Bryant and Michael
Reggie
Jordan.
Miller's name.
I mentioned Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan before when I was talking about Haliburton, and the fact I'm not saying Haliburton's better than Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant. Of course, anyone that knows me knows I'm not saying that. But this is above whatever. I've never seen anything like this. This many clutch moments from one guy in one postseason. It's crazy.
You have to be down to hit game-winning shots. Jordan and Kobe, obviously, but even Reggie Miller's Pacers, they won a lot more games. They weren't down. They weren't in this position.
Haliburton's team's not that good, though, I don't think.
That's what I'm saying. That's why they're losing. He's hitting game. It's fun for this era, but I'm saying Reggie played in a much tougher era.
I mean, clutch shots, though, are clutch shots. This guy's the fact that, this would be like a career-defining shot that he made tonight, or at least a playoff run-defining shot. It's just one of many. There's literally 5 or 6 shots I can think of this postseason, and I'm forgetting some probably.
Remember the Knicks team that he got the choke sign? Remember who was on that defense? Has Haliburton played anything like what Reggie Miller was facing?
Yeah, this Thunder defense is better to me.
They're not tougher.
This Thunder defense is better than any defense Reggie Miller played. Other than the Bulls. I would say maybe the Bulls defense in the 90s was better than this Thunder defense, but Reggie never beat that team. He took them 7 the one time. Maybe Haliburton will take the Thunder 7 and he won't beat them either. But
they're telling me
what did Reggie Miller do in Game 7 though against that Bulls team?
So apparently the chat is telling me I'm wrong. Take this L, Gary, as if so. They're saying Haliburton is better than Reggie Miller. Yeah, that makes a lot of
in these playoffs. I think he's been better almost.
You guys are right. You guys are right. Haliburton's playing better competition. The Knicks, the Bulls, Kobe's Lakers. You guys are right. And the defense is so much tougher in this era than the era of Reggie Miller. I'm going to swallow this L because you geniuses are.
Hey, Gary.
Right.
Gary, I will say this. You can swallow this L. The only defense that Reggie Miller ever played against that was better or comparable to this Oklahoma City Thunder team was the 1990s Chicago Bulls. In the 1998 NBA Final or Eastern Conference Final Series, it was an 83-88 game. So this was a highly winnable game for Indiana to beat that dynastic Jordan Bulls team. In the fourth quarter of that game, in 9.5 minutes, Reggie Miller scored no points and shot 0 of 1 from the field. 1 shot attempt in the fourth quarter, 0 points in a game that was highly winnable. So that was what the defense did to him though. And this Thunder defense is on a par with that defense.
You can't compare because the offense, Miller was facing the Jordans, Bulls, the Kobe Lakers offense though. So they're going to have more points. It's just not comparable to compare this era to Reggie Miller's era and the greatness, the elite all-time players. Who's your number 1 and number 2 of all time, Skap? Jordan, and Kobe. That's why Reggie Miller.
And yet, Gary, even though I love Kobe and Jordan, and I am as protective and as defensive.
Don't tell me OKC is better than them.
I am as protective and as defensive to all-time greats and old legends as anybody on this platform, Gary. And what I said, I believe when I am the lead-in. Haliburton is doing things that I'm sorry, I have not seen any
because they're down. That's what I'm saying. That Reggie and Kobe and Jordan weren't down all the time.
I've watched every playoff game for 30 years. I've never seen anything. I've never seen this level of clutch shots in one playoff run. I just haven't.
I'm not saying
you can say whatever you want to about it. You can say the competition, the defense. But okay, but I've never
Isn't that what the Skap attack video?
I've never seen it.
Your channel, the basis of your channel is on the mediocrity of this era and the mediocrity of the defense.
But Gary, I'm not talking about anything. I'm saying in the waning moments of close games, this guy's making bigger plays throughout the course of a playoff run more consistently than anyone else I've ever seen in 30 years.
It's a lot easier to hit game-winning shots against weaker defense.
Gary, nobody else is doing it though. See, and that's my point. When people come in and say, "Yo, Skap, you crush all of these other players," and then you praise Jokic too much for his stats. Yeah, because even in this era of depreciation, like nobody's doing what Jokic is doing. Like, so in an era of depreciated stats and lack of defense, Jokic is still heads and shoulders above everybody else. So even in this era of lacking defense and depreciation, I still don't see guys hitting 6-7 game-winning shots in one postseason run. It just doesn't happen. It's just crazy. Like, you think I'm trying to be insulting to these all-time players. I'm not. I'm just giving this guy credit because I think credit is due. That's all.
I'm just romanticizing the 90s. That's all. And they're telling me that. So I'm going to swallow this L. And Lester said in the chat, "Wait, what is Gary going to swallow?"
Oh no, he didn't. Lester, I'll tell you, Lester. I'll tell you, bro.
I concede. You guys are right. Haliburton is better than Reggie. The competition is better right now. You guys are right.
Lester's really going to push us to OnlyFans. I can see it. I can see it coming. Oh shit! I shouldn't have said. I should have worded that differently. Lester's going to have a field day with that one too. All right.
We'll get back on track.
I have lost my way here. I think I'm pretty sure I'm on.
Skap, we'll have an off season, and after the playoffs play out, we'll have a live stream debate, and I'll school you on this there, and I'll school everyone in the chat who dares to say Haliburton is on Reggie Miller's level.
Anyway. Gary, look, listen. If I don't know that he's going to win this series. In fact, I obviously don't think he will. If he does, though, Gary, I mean, he's beaten a 64-win team, a 68-win team, a 50-win team.
The Cavs were injured.
And he's hit like 7-game winners.
Props, but the Cavs were injured. That wasn't the exact same. Let me ask this. This will sum everything up. Here's your answer. You own a franchise. You have to pick Haliburton or Reggie Miller to start your franchise. Prime Reggie, prime Haliburton. Who are you taking?
Well, I'm still on prime Reggie, just like
I'm still
saying Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are better than Haliburton. I'm not even saying Haliburton's a top 5 player in the NBA right now. What I am saying is this is insane what he's done in the clutch moments in these playoffs. It's just insane to me.
Reggie Miller scored, 8 points in 16 seconds to bring the Knicks back like he did. Reggie Miller is a legend. Haliburton, and look at how mediocre Haliburton's playing to the end. I give him props because he does have the killer gene. I give him his props. I'm just saying, let's pump the brakes on trying to. You're being anyone who's saying Haliburton is as good as Reggie or better are being a prisoner of the moment, and that's a problem with a lot of fans. They're a prisoner of the moments. Their team in this moment is always, this is the greatest of all time. That's why the youth is saying LeBron is the GOAT, because they're being prisoners of the moment.
But there's a difference between overhyping versus just appreciating Like, I'm not saying that he's on the level with any of these other historical greats. What I'm saying is this individual run has been one of the best playoff runs ever, in my estimation. I'll run the metrics on the teams that he's played. I'll look at the totality of the clutch time stats. Like, what I'm saying is, like, yes, I'm not projecting Haliburton to be a top 20 all-time player or anywhere near that. But what I am saying is this is one of the best playoff runs ever. Look, Dwayne Wade, to me, is not better than Kobe. He's not better than Jordan. But he had, to me, look, I didn't see Jordan's 3 finals that he played against in 91, 92, 93 against the Lakers, the Trailblazers, and then the Suns. I didn't see those, Gary. What I can say is Dwayne Wade, to me, had the best NBA Finals performance I've ever seen in my life.
In 2006.
The 2006 finals that he had when they were down against the Mavericks that year, and he had Shaq and no LeBron. That, to me, I said at the time in 06, that's the best finals I've ever seen. And still now, like, whatever, 20 years later, to me, still now over 30 years of watching like every basketball series there's been, Dwayne Wade had the best finals performance I've ever seen. That doesn't mean he's better than Kobe or better than Jordan. So, like, I can say Haliburton's having one of the best playoff runs I've ever seen and still not think he's like one of the all-time great players. So that's kind of the discrepancy or the differential that I'm working with there. Orbital Hub, though, Gary, is in, and Orbital Hub is feeling very confident about his Pacers pick, just proclaiming Pacers in 6. So we'll see, Gary. A lot of people were calling Pacers in 5 and 6 when we were on the last, I think, the Skap afternoon lounge. People were saying, when I said that the Thunder were going to absolutely smoke them, people were saying, like, Pacers in 6. So Orbital Hub is feeling their Pacers in 6 call. We'll see. I still don't believe, but maybe they can make me a believer on Sunday. We'll see. Lightspeed is in next. Welcome back into you, Lightspeed, and thank you very much for joining us tonight. Gary, what does Lightspeed have?
Early days yet, but if Pacers win, would it be better than Rick Carlisle's 2011 chip? Bucks, Cavs, Knicks, OKC.
I still say no, because not only did they beat the super team unbeatable Heat with 3 Hall of Famers, perennial All-Stars, they ended the Lakers 3-peat bid as well in that run in resounding fashion, by the way. That was, I think, in 5, maybe 4. It was 4 or 5. So I just want to look at the total run. 4-0. They swept the Lakers. So get a load of this run. They beat the Trailblazers, which you know what? Let me see. I want to see what the regular season win totals were on that, actually. So they beat the Portland Trailblazers in the first round, who won 48 games. In the second round, they beat the 57-win LA Lakers, who were, again, back-to-back defending title champions. They had went to the last 3 straight NBA Finals rounds. So they beat them. Then into the finals, they dusted the Thunder, destroyed them. The Thunder that year, who were 55-27. So they beat all those teams just to get into the NBA Finals, where they played the 58-win Heat, an underachievement for the Heat to only have 58 wins that year. So to beat the Lakers, so they beat Kobe with Gasol when they were going for the 3-peat. Then they won in 5 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, which, of course, the Thunder, that team still had Harden. So that was the Durant, Westbrook, and Harden Thunder that they beat next. Then they beat the LeBron, Wade, and Bosh. No, to me, to answer your question, Lightspeed, I still got that 2011 run is better, even if the Pacers win. I think actually this would be a bigger upset in the finals, and it would be a more impressive finals win. Actually, I do think that it would be better than them beating the Heat that year. But the totality of the run, no, I still am saying the 2011 run would be better. Liz A 5280 is in next. Liz, welcome. Thank you for joining us in the lounge here, and thank you for sponsoring us in the lounge. I appreciate you. Gary, what does Liz A have for us tonight?
Liz A, don't you worry. He's not going to stop. Skap, I hope you don't stop supporting our Nuggets team, especially Nikola Jokic. You are our voice.
Liz, I am out here for you. You guys, Nuggets country, don't know what it's like for me to be out here for you. It is an up at dawn, pride-swallowing siege, the likes of which I will never fully tell you about. Obviously, that is a little homage to my main man, Tom Cruise, in one of my favorite films of all time, Jerry Maguire. I am not going anywhere, though, Liz. I will literally be defending Nikola out here with my last breath, so long as he warrants defense, which I'd never see him not warranting defense. The guy has abysmal supporting casts around him. He has been systemically failed by his garbage can organization, his dumpster of a general manager in Calvin Booth that just flushed his entire prime down the toilet. So look, this guy continues to do historic things. He continues to overachieve in the playoffs. Yes, they lost in the second round. Yes, they didn't even belong there, though, and they took the Thunder 7. He continues to do these astronomical, heroic, Herculean-type lifts with less than every other great player has ever had. So, yes, I will be out here, and I will perpetually be defending our boy, Nikola Jokic. And hopefully, look, maybe one day he will warrant my criticism. In order for him to warrant that, though, he will actually have to have a viable roster around him of a supporting cast which he could actually compete for a championship with, and then he's going to have to fail with that lineup, which I don't see happening. He somehow won a championship with the lineup that he does have. Give this guy a team commensurate with what the Steph Currys, LeBron Jameses, Kevin Durant's have had over the last 15 years to win their titles. Give him those kind of teams. Oh, Nikola Jokic would win 6 or 7 straight championships. You just replace Nikola Jokic with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and I guarantee you they're not losing this game tonight. I think Shai's going to win this series. Jokic would handily win the NBA championship with this team. So he doesn't have that kind of team. He never does. He never has. He likely never will. So, Liz, don't you worry. I am not going anywhere. As long as I have breath in me and a platform to shout it on, I will be screaming from the mountaintops the praise and defense of our guy, Nikola Jokic. Just the Messenger is in next. Just the Messenger, welcome in. Then thank you for yet another generous sponsorship. I know you are also a continual benefactor here of us here in the lounge. Thank you for that. Gary, what does Just the Messenger have tonight for us?
Great ending. Haliburton again. He passed LeBron in finals buzzer beaters. I guess Haliburton can now say that shot made me the greatest of all time. Well, I think there's some Pacers fans in the chat who are saying that, who are acting like.
Well, I'll tell you this, Gary. If they go on to win this series, maybe Haliburton can say that about that shot, because that big shot likely will have propelled them to this. That would have been a humongous step in them getting the series and winning it. So, at least he would be saying it about a shot he made, whereas LeBron, as we know, declared himself the GOAT off of a shot that he didn't even make. Kyrie Irving won that Game 7, won that series for LeBron, and everyone will point to the LeBron block, which came in with like 2 minutes left. The chase down block on Andre Iguodala was like, there was still 2 minutes left in a game that was tied at the time. It was Kyrie that hit the game-winning series-clinching shot in that series, which, of course, in LeBron's delusional mind, made himself the greatest of all time. Great point there, and thank you for that, Justin Messenger. We've got IVR7 in next. What is happening? I see a Pacer call here coming. Gary, go ahead and read IVR7.
Oh, my goodness. You boys are just capping for your Indiana Pacers. Skap, Pacers will win in 5 or 6. The Pacers are loaded, and the East has more attitude, which will dismantle. Let me chime in real quick. Skap, can you please tell me, what was Chet Holmgren's
My
stat
thunder.
line? 2 of 9. 2 of 9 tonight. Do you think that's going to happen every game, or do you think maybe that's a fluke? Well, let me chime in here. It is definitely a fluke, and Chet Holmgren's not going to go 2 of 9, and you only led for 0.3 of a second off of a last game-winning shot in the very last second of the game. That's why Holmgren's 2 of 9. If he just 3 of 9, if he was just 3 of 9, the Thunder win tonight. That's not going to continue. You guys are done. Quit talking your trash. Quit talking your noise, because you won one lucky game where Chet Holmgren had probably one of the worst games of his entire career.
It's okay, Gary. I don't mind. I don't mind the premature celebrations going on here. I'll take it. I think I will. First of all, I will chuckle at the my Thunder. Like, they're not my Thunder. They haven't been my Thunder ever. I said they would win easily at the beginning of the year. I still stand behind that. It was my Nuggets, by the way. And when my Nuggets won game 1, and even when they went up 2-1, I didn't come in here and proclaim like, oh, the Nuggets are going to win this game. Like, so I think it's getting a little this series, like, I think it's getting a little premature. Like, every stage of that series, even when the Nuggets won game 1, when they won game 3, when they won game 6, like, I at no point came in here and was like, the Nuggets are going to win this series. I always stayed grounded. I always said that the Thunder were much better and that the Thunder ultimately would prevail. And I feel that same way right now. But guys, enjoy it. Talk your shit. Walk it off tonight. It was a great performance by Haliburton. A crazy come from behind win. I can't remember a game in an NBA Finals where a team won after not even leading for a full second of the game. So absolutely a crazy win for sure for them tonight. I still ultimately don't think it's going to mean much though. Next, we've got Arizona Anime Fan in. Welcome into you, Arizona Anime Fan. And thank you very much for your generous donation to us in the Skap Lounge. Gary, what does Arizona Anime Fan have for us?
Great result. Love to see the free throw merchant lose. Still, this was an atrocious basketball game to watch. This made me yearn for the Pistons Spurs final. That defense was legal, and Timmy was worth the watch.
Yeah, I mean, I am surprised at certain elements of the game. I thought in the first half, I thought that the Thunder could not possibly play worse. They shot, I think, again, 37%, I want to say, in the first half for the team from the field. And yet they were up 12 points, mainly on the back of the Pacers' turnovers. But the Pacers weren't lighting it up either. They shot like 41%, which is right around where I expect the Pacers to trickle down to throughout the series. Like, I expect them to shoot 41%. But they really blew it out in the second half. They got it up to 48% for the night. And then they were blistering from 3, 18 of 39 for 46%. A really gaudy percentage from them, mainly on Aaron Naismith was 3 of 7, and then Obi Toppin off the bench. Huge game for him. 5 of 8 from the three-point line from Obi Toppin. Really one of the heroes of the game off the bench. He was plus 13 and scored 17 points. So, yeah, I mean, look, the game, I think the Thunder are a great defense. Yes. And yes, I think they also clobber and bludgeon people on the defensive end, and they largely get away with it, to your point, Arizona Anime Fan. And the Pistons Spurs, was absolutely nasty defensively. That series was ridiculous. Gary, that was, I think, what was it, 2005, right?
Yep, 2005.
Yeah, 2005. That was, I believe, a 7-game gem of a series. Yeah. Literally, there was only one team in one game scored 100 points in this series. That is insane. Think about that. Like, this was 20 years ago. That's what the NBA was 20 years ago. 7 games played in a series. The Pistons scored 102 points in game 4, and that was it. That was the only instance of any team breaking the 90s. Like, game 1, the Spurs won 84-69. Game 7, the decider was 81-74. For the series, in that series, to your point, Arizona anime fan. Just an insane defensive series. The Spurs averaged 84.9 points per game, and the Pistons averaged actually more, 86.7. So the Spurs averaged 85 points per game in a 7-game series and won the series. That's what the NBA was back when men were men and alphas ruled the earth. That is why you can't cross compare eras. To Gary's point earlier that he was talking about with the ease, the relative ease that players today have in context to those times. But like that time, look, the 2000s, people talk about like the 90s, the 80s. Look, it's more so 95 to like 2010. That 15-year span was different. It was different from now, but it was different from the early 90s, the 80s, the 70s, the 60s. 95 to 2010 is on its own island. That is the absolute dead ball era of NBA history. Anyone unfortunate enough to play in that era, like that guy, where his entire prime, he was drafted in 96 and blew his Achilles in 2012. So Kobe Bryant's entire career played in that span of time. And people actually have the guile, the gall to come at me and now and say, oh, well, Kobe only averaged 25 points per game. Get the hell out of here. That's why. Because his whole damn career was played in that, where that was what was going on. And still, if you take away the first 2 years, when he was a bench player, essentially, and he couldn't get on the court, and then the last 3 years after his Achilles rupture, and just look at that like 15-year span in between, he's like a 28, 29 point per game scorer, even in that era. So that just, to me, really illustrates how great Kobe Bryant was. But that's why when you look at Tim Duncan, who's an all-time great, look, he only averaged like 19 points per game for his career. He's like 19 and 11 and 3 for his career. Like, yeah, because average nightly scoring was 20 points less than what it is now. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to get on a little tangent on that one, Arizona anime, but I just had to go back and look at that series, which was an insane, hellacious defensive effort by both of those teams. Vacation Wealth Partners, welcome back in. Very generous donator here, benefactor, sponsor, one of our top guys here in the lounge. Thank you very much. I'll jump ahead actually, because I see Vacation Wealth Partners had another a pretty good donation for us down here. So I'll just do back to back real quick from them. Gary, go ahead and read this first one of two that we'll do from Vacation Wealth Partners.
Once again, it says something about this pathetic era of basketball, that this historic, dominant team that won 68 games is that mentally weak and inconsistent. R.I.P. Kobe.
Yeah, it is. It's pathetic. It's disgusting. I'm disgusted with the Thunder. Quite frankly, you said it. 68 wins. They are one of, I think, 7 or 8 teams. I think only have won that total. Like 7 or 8 teams. That's it in NBA history, all time, have gotten to at least 68 wins. They also, I talk about it all the time, they shattered the all-time record for margin of differential per game. Shattered it, which was like a 54-year-old record. They obliterated that this year. They shattered the all-time SRS record, which again, I'm always confused at who actually held it. It's either the 71 Bucks with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Oscar Robertson, or it's the 96 Bulls, the 72-win Bulls team. I think it might actually be the 71 Bucks. Then the Bulls were second. Anyway, shattered this year by the Oklahoma City Thunder, and yet they continue to do this shit. Like, it's pathetic. Honestly, it is. And it is absolutely a commentary on everybody, really, I think, on the team, the coach, the players, and yes, even the MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Vacation Wealth Partners. So I echo your RIP Kobe as well, as I just talked about the great Kobe Bryant. But I do want to Gary, go ahead.
I'm looking at the chat. I want you Pacers fans to come in after game 2 with the same energy. I want you guys to come back in here. Game 2 with this same energy. That's all I got to say. Let's go on to the next one.
All right, let's jump back to Vacation Wealth Partners. Oh, look at this question by Vacation Wealth Partners. I just see Tom mentioned and ranking. Oh my goodness. We're nearing the 2-hour mark here. It's 1:15 a.m. and we might never go to bed. We might never get off here if I'm about to talk Tom Cruise movies. My idol, Kobe, Tom Cruise, and Jim Rome, my 3 all-time idols. Gary, go ahead and read this question from Vacation Wealth Partners.
I'm shaking in fear. These Pacers fans. Oh, we coming, Gary. Oh, Gregory, please do come after game 2. Okay, Vacation Wealth Partners. Skap, rank your top Tom Cruise movies. My list: A Few Good Men, Cocktail, Top Gun, Jerry Maguire, Night and Day.
All very good. All very good picks. First of all, I've seen Tom's entire catalog. So I'm even going back to Endless Love, Taps, like his very, very early catalog, his very early resume. I've seen them all. The art house films, obviously all the action ones, the blockbusters. I've seen them all. He's gone through different various stages of his career. I think he was, doing more, I guess I would say, serious work, Academy acclaimed work, going for that Oscar when he was in his, early 30s, throughout probably his entire 30s. Then when he hit 40, he was basically like, screw it. They're not going to give it to me. They're not going to me, by the way, Tom Cruise not having an Oscar is an absolute joke. It is an all-time rob job that guy doesn't have an Academy Award. Now, is he like a great actor? No, but he is a very, very good actor. In my estimation, he is 10 times the actor of George Clooney and Brad Pitt, both of which the Academy has given Academy Awards to. And look, Leo has become a very good actor later on in his life. Go back and look at early Leonardo DiCaprio versus early Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is a more talented, he's a better actor. And Tom Cruise is a better movie star than any of them. He is an absolute ambassador for Hollywood. He is probably the greatest movie star of all time. And the fact that they have gotten Leonardo DiCaprio, George Clooney, and Brad Pitt Oscars, and they haven't gotten Tom Cruise one, is a crying shame. It's a joke. It's like Kobe having only one MVP. So don't get me started on that. But I would say if we're ranking my favorite Tom films, I already said, look, I love a lot of his action films from my relative age when I saw it, the nostalgia involved with it. I would still say I think very highly of the first Mission Impossible film. And then even though, like I say, he is primarily known as an action star, Jerry Maguire might be my favorite Tom Cruise movie, quite frankly. Because I love sports. I love Tom Cruise. I love the character in the film, the monologues, I just love everything about that movie. Love the ending. Great film. And I would say both Top Guns. I really love the first Top Gun, but the second Top Gun is one of the most enjoyable films I've ever seen in theaters. I saw it 3 times in theaters. It held up all 3 times wonderfully upon each rewatch. And it was just a magnificent film. I thought it really, to me, it was made during COVID. He held it for like 2 years so that the theaters would be reopened. And it did not disappoint. I thought that it kind of brought back the movie industry, the theater industry to some degree. That movie single-handedly, it made some gaudy amount of money, like 700 some million in just the American box office alone. So those are the movies which most readily come to mind. I'd say like an underrated movie it actually has 2 names, Live, Die, Repeat, and then Edge of Tomorrow. I forget which one was the theatrical version, but then they renamed it when it came out to DVD or whatever, when it came out, to video and streaming. So the 2 names there, I think of it as Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow is the title.
I think they're making a sequel to it. I thought that was a very underrated Tom Cruise film. And then one of the craziest roles that I've seen him play from a performance standpoint, first of all, Born on the 4th of July, his best performance in my opinion. I think they could have given him a little Academy Award for Magnolia if they wanted to, because to me, he deserved one for Born on the 4th of July. But Daniel Day-Lewis did My Left Foot, which was one of the best performances I've ever seen that year. So it was tough to get Tom that one. You could have given him the makeup Oscar, like they gave Denzel the makeup Oscar. I thought Denzel should have won the Oscar for Malcolm X. They robbed him that year, but they made up for it and gave it to him for Training Day. I thought Russell Crowe should have had the Academy Award for The Insider. He didn't get it. They gave it to him for Gladiator. Give Tom the makeup Oscar. They could have given it to him for Magnolia. Go ahead, Gary. Gary wants
Sean Penn should have won for I Am Sam. Denzel's my favorite actor, but I am sorry. Sean Penn for I Am Sam should have beat Russell Crowe and Denzel that year.
And anyway, my point is the Academy finds ways, right?
Right.
For instance, like Nikola Jokic, like they just screwed him out of this MVP. Maybe they make up for it and give it to him next year. Who knows? Like they do it in sports too. They'll make up certain things. They'll give people things they might not deserve one year because they didn't get it a previous year that they should have had it. The Academy does it all the time. They could have gotten Tom Cruise an Oscar somewhere along the line. But not even talking about his best performances, one of his craziest performances, which I would encourage all of you to go watch the movie Tropic Thunder. If you haven't seen it, it's first of all, a very politically incorrect film. It's from, I think, 2011. So about 13, 14 years ago. They absolutely could not make the film today in this society that we live in now.
2008.
2008. Okay, so even older. So going on 20 years. It would not be made today. I will not highlight the reasons why it's politically incorrect. Just watch it and you'll find out. But in the film, Tom Cruise plays this really like high-powered, loud-mouthed agent called Les Grossman, I think is his name in the film, the character's name. He's in a fat suit. He's got a bald cap on. He's this loud-mouthed, really foul-mouthed guy, and it's just hilarious. He steals every scene he's in. It's an all-star cast. Ben Stiller's in it, Jack Black, Robert Downey Jr., Matthew McConaughey. Tom Cruise is just kind of like a secondary role. One of the few movies he's not like the main A-list carrier of the film, but he is hilarious. He steals the movie, I think, and he is actually talking about now he wants to do a standalone Les Grossman project. So let's see if Tom Cruise does that. Vacation Wealth Partners, great question. I love Tom Cruise. Gary, go ahead.
I got to chime in real quick. Shout out to Lions for Lambs. He had a supporting role in that, but that was a great movie. I still remember it at the theater. And here we go. You haven't talked about this guy. This is my favorite Tom Cruise movie, Collateral.
Another interesting performance by him where he plays, because typically Tom Cruise plays throughout his entire career the underdog, like he's the young, cocky underdog kind of early on. Then when he gets older, he's more of the old, wise, veteran underdog. But he's always the main hero of the story. Typically, he's always the protagonist. But in the movie Collateral, for those of you that haven't seen it, he's an assassin and he's the villain in the film. He's kind of an anti-hero to some degree, but you're meant to root against him in the movie, and it's a performance. Tom Cruise, say what you will about him, he has shown a lot of depth throughout his career. So he doesn't do it often. There's a formulaic role that he plays typically, but he does have the ability to show range, and he has throughout his career. So, yes, I'm a humongous Tom fan.
Honorable mention for The Last Samurai.
Great performance. See, and that year I thought Russell Crowe was nominated that year. He didn't win, but he was nominated for a film called Master and Commander, Far Side of the Sea. And I thought, boy, Tom Cruise really should have been nominated for Samurai over Russell Crowe. But again, the Academy hates Tom Cruise for whatever reason. They hate him, just like the writers and the media hated my man Kobe Bryant. So I don't know. Take that with what you will. But great question again, Vacation Wealth Partners. Again, I love Tom Cruise. Now back to the basketball, I guess, and back to the basketball-centric questions. Actually, wait a second. I think I jumped one here. Yes, I did. Let's go to Bob M. Bob M, go ahead. I see Lamar Jackson's name, so I'm interested to see what this question yields us. Go ahead, Gary.
Skap, it's easier than ever to be third team all NBA. Admit it. Nah, still overrated, but not the most. Who's the Lamar Jackson of overrated in the NBA?
Well, Bob M is speaking to, I said I just put up an NFL video today. Aaron Rodgers went to my childhood team, the Pittsburgh Steelers, where I was born and raised. So I did a video on that. I have done a couple videos on Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. Some of those have over 100,000 views. And then I've got a couple on Lamar Jackson too, being one of the most overrated players in NFL history. Certainly, in my estimation, the most overrated player in today's NFL. You know, Bob M, this is an easy answer though for me. It's LeBron. It's crazy. Luckily, Lamar uses an A and LeBron uses the E. But it's crazy that the two most overrated players in my two favorite sports both have that La prefix to it. Lamar and LeBron. LeBron is the Lamar of the NBA, and Lamar is the LeBron of the NFL, in my estimation. Two vastly overrated historical players. The fact that Lamar Jackson sniffed realistically a third league MVP is unequivocal madness. And quite frankly, I think he should have been the MVP this year. Like, as much as I dislike Lamar Jackson, I'm here ready and willing to admit that I probably would have voted for him for the MVP had I had a vote this season. However, he shouldn't have been the MVP the other two seasons. So the fact, and see, that's the problem with giving guys things they don't deserve. Like Steph Curry getting that first league MVP he didn't deserve. Then he gets that second MVP in a row, and it's a historical commentary on Steph Curry. So you give Lamar, you jam him with two undeserving MVPs. Then all of a sudden, holy shit, this guy might actually have three MVPs now. And that is insane. It's insanity that he would have been tied with Tom Brady with three MVPs. He would have been under literally only Peyton Manning with three and Aaron Rodgers with four, and tied with Tom Brady. He would have had more league MVPs than Patrick Mahomes and Joe Montana. He would have had more MVPs than Dan Marino and John Elway and Drew Brees combined. That's what we were looking at. That's the prospect we were faced with in the NFL this year had he won that third, which is why I say he is undoubtedly one of the most overrated players ever. Bob M, and to your point, I'm going with LeBron to equal Lamar in the NBA. So great question. Samson the Current is back in. Welcome back into you, Samson. Gary, guys, this is gonna be a late night. Gary, I apologize.
No, I'm good.
I might never get my video done on this game. It'll probably maybe hold till tomorrow. We have 52 super chats in now. This is ridiculous. Thank you guys so much for supporting us in this way. I really do appreciate it. I'm grateful to all of you guys. Go ahead and read Samson's though, Gary, and we will continue on. I will answer. We will read every one of these. I will answer every one. But let's begin now with Samson the Current.
The Thunder went to 7 against a team with only one player.
True. The Nuggets, an absolute magic trick to get the Thunder into a 7th game. The Pacers are a much better team than the Nuggets were. So maybe the better team can kind of hang with the Thunder and give them, as good of a series as Nikola Jokic gave them in that Denver Nuggets series. Only time will tell, but I am skeptical for sure. Next in, we've got Sully again. Sully, welcome back in. What is this recent one from him, Gary?
Just found out Puma and Haliburton unveiled his first signature shoe in tonight's game. I bet Puma is about to experience an load of ROI on that partnership.
You're breaking news to me, Sully. I was unaware of that as well. I did not know about it. So thank you for breaking news here into the Skap Live After Dark Lounge area. Puma's signature line hits tonight with Haliburton, while Haliburton sinks the Oklahoma City Thunder with 0.3 of a second left on his game winner. So, yeah, I'm with you. Like, I bet a lot of people are going to be out buying some Hallies tomorrow at their local shoe store, if anybody actually goes to actual shoe stores these days, or if they just, buy everything online now, which I imagine is probably the case. Next, and we've got Noble Demon Tim. Noble Demon Tim, welcome to you. Thank you for joining us here in the sponsor area of the lounge. I appreciate you greatly. Gary, what does Tim have? What's the question or comment from Tim?
Feel free to call me Tim. And man, I'm not. Are you saying feel free to call me Tim and man this 2025 NBA Finals? Or are you saying feel free to call me Tim and man? I'm not quite sure, but anyway,
we'll just call you Tim because Noble Demon Tim. You've got Tim in the name, so you said we can call you Tim. We will call you Tim for purposes of this lounge session. Go ahead.
I think he misplaced the comma. Should have been feel free to call me Tim, comma, and man, this 2025 NBA Finals is legit wild. 2 other YouTube channels, and shout out to Dangerous AI and Riot Comedy, which may be interested in this year's NBA Finals.
Sure, yeah, shout out to them. I'm not very well versed in other YouTube channels. Truth be told, I have to out myself. I do often, I've talked about it. I don't really necessarily follow really any other YouTube channels. I'm aware of other YouTube channels. I like other YouTube channels. I just don't really watch any of them or pay attention to them regularly. I'm just too busy with doing this stuff. So it's just, or looking for things to talk about, or, hanging out with my 12-pound best friend / assistant, Luna, my Shih Tzu, who's sleeping ever so soundly next to me, although she heard her name and she poked her little head up to say hi. So I just don't follow much, but yes, I do. I think aware of Dangerous AI. I've seen some fringe stuff of them. So yeah, shout out to them and shout out to you, Tim, for the super chat. We do appreciate it. And I agree. This NBA Finals has started out wild. We'll see if it continues that way or if there's an about face by the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm kind of thinking there will be. Next in, we've got Steph is in. Welcome, Steph. I do appreciate it. And I appreciate you and your continued involvement here and support of us. Gary, what does Steph have for us tonight?
If Indiana wins game 2, it's over. SGA choke job.
This will be a historic choke job. Look, the Thunder, I've been praising the Thunder all year, and I will bury the Thunder as a team as well. If they lose this series, it will be a cataclysmic choke job for them. However, Shea is getting all of the credit for this. I continue to talk about the Thunder, Sam Presti, the team, and yet Shea is the only one. Shea is the one that gets all the flowers. Shea is the one that gets the MVP. Shea is the one that stands to be uplifted from a historical standpoint. So therefore, Shea is the one that will have to wear this the most if they lose. So yes, Steph, I agree. This will be on the face of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander if they lose. I don't see any way still, even after losing game 1, that they're going to lose the series. We've got Poyo-Yo, yet another regular. Welcome in. Welcome to the party, Poyo-Yo. What do we got from them, Gary?
My mind is telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. Skap secretly hoping for Oklahoma and their coach, Mr. Bean's downfall.
Look, I neither root nor hate on either of these teams. I talk about it often. There's literally 4 things that I want to see, and 4 things only. That's it. That's the list. Every year at the beginning of the NBA season, at the beginning of the NBA playoffs, and that is in no particular order: Nikola Jokic winning, Giannis Antetokounmpo winning, LeBron James losing, Steph Curry losing. That's really all I care about. Other than that, I really don't have any horse in the race or dog in the fight, so to speak, as the sayings go. When this series was set, I thought Oklahoma City would win easily. I've been calling them all year long to win the NBA championship. I will be shocked even still after game 1 if they don't win. But with that said, I'm not necessarily rooting for or against it. I just like to see compelling stuff. And this first game was really compelling. It got me worked up. I was expecting to just breeze on in here after a 25-point win tonight, kind of lethargically recap the game. I was heated up. I'm angry at the Thunder's performance. I'm angry at their their level of competition tonight and the way they showed up, the way they finished. So it got me worked up. I like to see that. I like when my blood pressure's up. So Poyo, I'm just rooting for more of the same moving forward. Jolly Joshams is in next. Welcome back in. Yet another regular here in the lounge. Jolly Joshams, thanks to you. And Gary, what does Jolly have for us tonight?
Just got off work and had to check in with this pleasant surprise. How many more game-winning comebacks do the Pacers have in them?
Well, Jolly, I would say none, or at most one. I think the Pacers can win only one more game at most. I wouldn't be surprised if they won no more games. But again, I'm just fully invested. Not that, again, I'm not rooting for, but I'm just so far up the Thunder's ass that I just think they're just so damn great and so damn unbeatable that I would be shocked and stupefied if the Pacers even get it to a game 7, quite frankly, just like I was shocked and stupefied by the Nuggets getting it to a 7. I still can't even imagine them. Little Luna is walking around. She's up. Guys, Luna, my assistant, is awake, so she might want to come up and say hi. But yeah, I'll be shocked if the Pacers get it to a 7. I'm not even thinking if they win yet. Again, let's pump the brakes a little bit. Although, like I said, enjoy the night, Pacers fans and stands out there. But I'll be reserving my judgment to see what the Thunder come out with in Game 7. Next in, John, welcome back in, John. Welcome to the party, John Ratcliffe, one of our longest benefactors of the show. Our oldest, he was a very active member in the very first night that we did our first Skap Live After Dark Lounge way back when, like in the second round, like a month plus ago. John, hopefully that shoulder, John had surgery on his shoulder a couple weeks back. So John, hope that shoulder is healing up for you. And shout out, I believe your roommate's name is MJ. Shout out to MJ. And Gary, what does John have for us tonight?
As an Indiana boy born and raised, good to see the Pacers at least not embarrass us Hoosiers. No, I don't like any Indiana teams, pro or college.
Yeah, I mean, Indiana has given, I think the Pacers tonight has given the entire area of Indiana, anyone that hails from it, roots for them, is involved with it in any way, shape, or form, has made them proud. This is a valiant effort, a great performance, a gritty effort by them to hang in and be a willing participant in the Oklahoma City Thunder's choke job, in the Choklahoma City's poopy pants performance tonight, but not taking anything away from that monumental basket by Haliburton. And, they had to stay in striking distance in order to capitalize. So, yeah, John, shout out to you, even though I know you're not an Indiana fan, since you're from the area, I guess, shout out to you and everybody else. We've got the real Donald Trump in here. The real Donnie, who I don't think is the real Donnie because they're giving us Canadian dollars. But thank you. If this is in fact DT, welcome in to the Skap Live After Dark Lounge. Gary, go ahead and read this one from the real DT. While I let little Luna out, she wants to go outside here.
SGA without the free throws is Franz Wagner.
I wouldn't go that far, first of all. And secondly, can you find a worse player than Franz Wagner? Because I think Franz Wagner is a good player. I have some respect for Franz Wagner. So let's find a more insulting player that you can liken SGA to. Although I don't agree with him being a poor player. I don't think he's a bad player though. Without the free throws, I still think he's a great player. Oh boy, we've got Lester back in. Oh, Lester's back in with some more demands if the Pacers win. And Gary, we've been shooting our mouths off about the Pacers having no shot. So I feel like maybe we're on the hook for this. What does Lester want you to do here, Gary?
Gary, 2 hard-boiled eggs and a cucumber. I do have hard-boiled eggs I often eat within my very strict, limited diabetic diet. And both of these items are in my diet. So I can eat an egg and a cucumber. Good thing is I won't have to do it on a live stream because the Thunder are not going to lose. but I will be eating them on my own time.
So Lester's really leaning into these little comparisons to certain appendages. We'll see, Lester. We'll see what game 2 looks like. RGN Cal's in next. Thank you, RGN Cal, for your continued support as well. Gary, what does RGN Cal have for us tonight?
4 times in one playoff run is crazy. I agree with that. I give him his props. I'm just saying he's not as good as Reggie.
And the crazy thing is, it's, like, it's not even it's 4, I guess, game winners, but like he's just been hitting really clutch baskets. Otherwise, it really is crazy. And just an epic performance, I think, by Haliburton, as I said multiple times on this stream. I hear my assistant / best friend Luna barking at the chamber door. I think she might have to go to the bathroom. I'm going to go ahead and put Xavier DeGod up. Shout out to you, Xavier. I'm sure Xavier has peppered us with a multitude of other questions and super chats as we go along, but this is the first from Xavier tonight. Gary, go ahead and read it real quick and answer it. I will be back in like 10 seconds.
Okay. If you guys met LeBron, what would you ask or say to him? Honestly, Xavier, I've thought about what I would like to say to him. I would say, why did you start comparing yourself to Michael Jordan? Instead, you should have promoted yourself as a one and only LeBron James, because I think I told this to Skap in private on a private conversation, is that there's never been another player like LeBron. Not in levels of greatness, but uniqueness. He's like a hybrid of a 3 and a 4. What position is he exactly? He's very agile for someone of his size. He's like a cross between a guard and a forward. I haven't seen anyone quite like him, and I don't know if we'll ever see anybody like LeBron. And I would have said that is how you should have advertised yourself, and you would have stood out as just as a unicorn in essence, instead of being a total joke by trying to declare how great you are and that you're better than Jordan.
I don't think I would ever meet LeBron. I think if I did, he would, I don't know, he would likely not know who I was. If he did, I would never get anywhere near LeBron anyway.
He knows who you are. I can about 99% guarantee, because he's a narcissist, and narcissists are always looking at themselves on the internet, and I guarantee you, your videos pop up on YouTube. These guys, they watch YouTube. We're on the same platform. They watch YouTube just like we do. They see what we're saying.
So I would never get anywhere close to LeBron anyway. And quite frankly, I don't think very highly of LeBron. I don't respect LeBron at all. I think the way he's conducted himself throughout his career.
But he knows this is a hypothetical. What would you say if you did? We know you're probably never going to meet him, but this is a hypothetical.
Well,
what would you say if you did?
I'm getting to that. Look, I don't respect him at all. I don't respect the way he's conducted himself or calling himself the greatest player of all time, but then cheating the game and cheating himself, and going about winning just garbage championships. And look, that to me, that's what's a conflict. Like, just come out and say, like, look, I don't have what it takes. I couldn't do it without building these super teams and going about it that way. But don't call yourself the GOAT if you then turn around and do those things and you are incapable of winning actual viable championships. So anyway, just the nauseating way in which he carries himself, and the way that he continually keeps calling himself the greatest player of all time, despite the fact he's done nothing to warrant that moniker. So I don't respect him at all. But with that said, I'm not going to just go up and disrespect him either if I would ever meet LeBron. Like, I wouldn't go up and be like, LeBron, you're a bum. Like, why do you conduct yourself like a bum? Why did you break the NBA and build super teams? Like, I'm probably not going to go and disrespect him to his face like that. I'm also not going to go up and shake his hand, though, and be like, oh, right, LeBron, great to meet you. Like, oh, like, such an honor. No, like, I'm not. I'm not saying like I'm not going to be like a coward or anything like that. If LeBron wanted to debate me ever or sit down with me in the context of I'm going at him, I'm going to ask him hard questions. Cool. But like I'm not just going to walk up to the guy on the street or whatever and be like, "LeBron, like you destroyed why did you destroy the NBA like a coward?" So I would love the chance to sit down with him though on a platform, maybe him and Rich Paul, and we can debate back and forth why he did the things he did. And I could ask him why he felt the need to do that. And why does he think he's better than other players that didn't do that didn't need to go to those extreme tactics to win. So that's probably something I would love to discuss with him, but I wouldn't just go up and assault him in any way, verbally on the street or whatever if I saw him. We've got Marco. Oh, Marco clarifying. He mentioned something about a pop quiz earlier. Go ahead. Oh, so this was the pop quiz he asked about a few days ago. I thought we Googled it because I did not know. And I was not satisfied actually with the answer that Google gave me. Gary, go ahead and read this from Marco and I'll let you know what the answer was.
I meant about the quiz I put up a few nights ago about first Serbian in the NBA.
So I Googled it because I thought, I'm trying to think of a guy like, I swear there was a guy in like the 90s and he's passed away since, and I could see him. I could see the player and I just can't think of the name. And I tried to Google it to see who, because I was sure that was the first Serbian player, but Google actually told me that Vlade Divac was the first Serbian player. And I reject that. I do not believe that. And I can't think, I'm trying to think and see, of course, if I just type best international players, it's just coming up with recent international players. But there is a great player from the 90s, maybe even the 80s that span into the 90s. And I can't think of the name for the life of me. I think that person that is now passed away played in the NBA just for a few games. So I'm not sure. Gary, maybe you could do a cursory Google search on this. It said Vlade Divac, I swear, when I searched it, but I don't.
When I looked it up too, and another guy, Zarko Paspalj, Paspalj. I don't know how to pronounce that. It says the first Serbian players to debut in the NBA were Vlade Divac and Zarko Paspalj, which I've never heard of.
See, I'm thinking of Petrovic. His last name was Petrovic.
He was on the Nets. No, this guy's not. This isn't Petrovic, but I remember Petrovic was on the Nets. Didn't he pass away early?
Yes.
Yeah, that was really sad.
I was thinking that, okay, it's Drazen Petrovic is the player I was thinking of that I thought that, and he played in the NBA in 1989. He played with Portland in 1989-90, and then, yes, you're right, he was on the Nets for 3 years. So he had a 4-year NBA career, and he averaged 15 points per game in the NBA, including like 20 and 22 points per game for the Nets in his last 2 seasons, where he played 82 games and started 82 games in his second to last season, averaged 21 points per game. He played 70 games in his last season in the NBA and averaged 22 points per game and was third-team All-NBA. But Drazen Petrovic was Croatian, not Serbian. So that's where I got mixed up and confused. So I guess the answer truly is Vlade Divac. So there you go. I should have known that, and I didn't.
I thought of Petrovic last time he asked that. The first name to pop was Petrovic on the Nets for me. But yeah, he's.
So there you go, Marco. The answer, I suppose, is, despite the fact that I'm still shocked by it, that Vlade Divac is. I can't believe that he was the first Serbian, but I guess he was, Marco. So thanks for checking back in with that, and sorry for the delay. Just killed it, 21. Welcome into you. This looks like a toughish read here, Gary. Good luck. Thank you for sponsoring us here. And Gary, go ahead and read this question or comment from Just Killed It.
I pledge myself and all my energy to the Haliburton, inshallah. Please copy paste that.
So this is alluding to referencing whatever the dark magic maybe that Haliburton is deployed in these playoffs. to get this level of clutchness going in these playoffs and to get them 3 wins away, shockingly, from winning the NBA championship. It is crazy, even though, again, I don't see any way they do it. The fact they're up in this series is insane to me. Xavier DeGod, again, back in. Inevitable that Xavier was going to pepper us with these crazy hypotheticals or whatever. So I'm looking forward to about probably 5 to 7 more. Go ahead with this first one from Xavier.
Rank these players from least to greatest based off skills. Curry, Kyrie, Dame, Westbrook, Harden, CP3, and D Rose and John Wall. Xavier, just a tip for the future when you bring these, you should probably limit it to like 3 or 4 guys, and we can really get a much better grasp. When you have this many, it just really takes us a long time. We can't really sink into the question the way we would want to.
Right. I agree with moderator Gary, and I would say the most skilled player on this list, though, to me, I would say it's arguably actually Kyrie Irving, but followed closely by Steph Curry. Curry is the best player on the list. He's the greatest player on the list. But I'd say in terms of skill, Kyrie Irving, to me, arguably number 1, followed closely by Curry. I'd say obviously Curry's a better shooter, but Kyrie has great range too. And Kyrie, though, I think his handle's better, even though Curry has good handle too, but I'd say Kyrie's is better. And then Kyrie's actually a really good finisher at the rim. He was crazy high on the point and paint points one year. And in terms of his relative size and how well he gets to the basket and finishes, Kyrie is a very, very talented and skillful player. I would say Kyrie, then Curry, and then probably when I think D Rose, as great as he was pre-injury, I think he was more just raw athleticism. Now he had some skill as well, but I would say more athleticism. John Wall, I'm not going to go there. I just don't believe he belongs on this list. CB3, great player, but I don't think he is a fundamentally sound player, though. So yes, he is a skillful player. Westbrook, look, I wouldn't say he's very skillful either, really. I mean, his shot is limited. The guy finds ways to brick and airball layups from time to time, even though, as you guys know, I am a supporter and a defender and a fan of Russell Westbrook, but I don't think skill when I think him. Harden, if we're including his prowess at the strip club and the buffet line, he would probably be number 1 on this list. But in lieu of that, I would say let's remove him as well. So I'm saying really Dame is a skilled player, I would say. One-dimensional for sure. But I'd say probably – go ahead, Gary.
Who's the least? I'd say Harden's because he said ranked from least to greatest. But just say Kyrie's number 1, followed closely by Curry. But who would be the least? We can go there. I'd say probably Harden.
As much as I absolutely adore Russell Westbrook, and it's hard to say that a guy that averaged 4 triple-doubles in an 82-game season isn't skilled. So I guess his offensive bag is not that deep, let's say. But he does assist the ball and stuff and do other things. So I would say, I don't know, maybe D Rose, quite frankly. I feel like he got hurt at such a young age. He really hadn't even tapped into his potential in terms of adding things and elements to his game and showing off the skill element. He was more so just with athleticism, I think, and handles. I don't know. There's really not – I don't think there's a guy I would say is the least – although John Wall, I don't think he belongs on this list. I think John Wall is just not a good player. So I might say John Wall. Not that he's not a good player, but I think John Wall is substantially beneath the other names on this list. So I would probably say – John Wall would be my least, but I'd say it's between Kyrie and Curry for the top. But thanks, Xavier. I see there's probably at least 2 or 3 more of these coming up down the line. So we'll reconnect with you in a bit here. Next in is Mark. Mark, welcome in. Thank you for supporting us here in the lounge. And Gary, go ahead and read this one from Mark.
SGA reminds me of young LeBron in a bad way.
I think I think that's if you know what I mean is what that is saying. I won't go there. I think Shea is actually, speaking of skill and bags, I think Shea has a much bigger bag than LeBron ever had, even at whatever he is, 26 years old. And Shea does have some clutch. Look, Shea choked tonight. He had opportunities to make shots down the stretch and missed them. And that opened. He took like the last two shots, missed them, and that's what opened the door for the Pacers to hit that. For Haliburton to hit that game winner for the Pacers. So, but I think Shea is also more clutch than LeBron has ever been. He's been clutch in these playoffs, and I think he will win this championship. But so I do not think I would remind. I do not see young LeBron and Shea. I think when I think like young LeBron, I thought Giannis is now getting older. He's 31. He's in his 13th year next year. But like Giannis reminded me a bit of young LeBron when Giannis, and that's no disrespect because young LeBron was a great talent, a great physical specimen. He just, chickened out and broke the game and cheated the game and cheated himself and stole cheap rings. Giannis, he's as one-dimensional at times as LeBron is. They both lack consistency in their jump shots. They both have struggles at times in clutch times. But Giannis stayed the course and he won a difficult championship. So I respect Giannis profoundly. Like I probably would have found respect for LeBron if he didn't chicken out like the coward that he is and go amass all of those super teams. But thank you, Mark, for checking in. And actually, Mark is in again right after. Oh boy, another Tom Cruise comment here. Go ahead and read this one, Gary.
Eyes Wide Shut is the best Tom Cruise movie, by the way.
Eyes Wide Shut is a weird film to me. It is. Now, that is the one I always get. Yeah, I get Vanilla Sky confused with Eyes Wide Shut. But Eyes Wide Shut is the Polanski film, I believe. I think that's who did it. And it was with Nicole Kidman. It's the weird, the doctor. Tom's a doctor. And he goes on this like sexual crusade. And there's like this, Fidelio is the passcode to get into this weird orgy where they're like wearing masks. It's a bizarre film. But I've seen them all. Like I said, I love Tom. I'm a big supporter, but quite frankly, not a fan of Tom and Nicole Kidman's collabs. I think Tom Cruise, seeing his whole catalog as I have, has produced like 4 bad movies in like the 65 that he's been a leading vessel in. One of them is Far and Away, which to me is far and away his worst film. He plays like an Irish immigrant who comes to the U.S. in like the late 1800s, turn of the century, early 1900s. He's like a boxer, a bare knuckle boxer. It's terrible. And Nicole Kidman stars in it alongside with him. So, and I'm really not a fan of Nicole Kidman and Tom Cruise films, though I will say the film that he met her in does not count because they were not a couple or an item. They met in the film. Days of Thunder, great film. Cole Trickle, love that movie. So, and Nicole Kidman was in that. She was the doctor, his neurologist or whatever in that film. So that movie doesn't count though because they weren't really together. But the 2 movies, Far and Away, Eyes Wide Shut, not a big fan of. And the other one I mentioned, Vanilla Sky, kind of a depressing film, an interesting film nonetheless. I love Kurt Russell too, who stars in co-stars in the movie with Tom. So I do like that element of it, but kind of a sad film. Definitely a sad ending in that one. But most of them are all good. Tom Cruise, the legend that he is. We've next got Lester's banana. Lester is peppering us with banana and other phallic-shaped fruits and vegetables commentaries tonight following this. He's pumped up over this Pacers win. Gary, go ahead and read this one. Actually, I'll read this one to you, Gary. This is to you, actually. So Lester would like Pacers win game 2. Gary smashes bananas with his feet. Same energy. Wow, Gary. So he doesn't want you to eat the bananas. He wants you to come on the stream after.
I don't even have any bananas in my house. So
like the I Love Lucy, the famous I Love Lucy episode, Gary. Are you familiar with I Love Lucy? The black and white.
With I know doesn't she squash some grapes?
Yes, when she's in the grape den and she's in the vineyard and she's smashing. That's what Lester wants you to do with a pit of bananas in game 2. Lester, this is getting pretty fetish ridden here.
I can't even maneuver my camera down. Like I would have to put it on the floor. I'm on a computer, so you're not even going to see my feet anyway. So it'd have to be something from like the chest up. So, and the good thing is we don't have to worry about it because OKC is going to obliterate Indiana in game 2. Chet Holmgren's not going to go 2-9 again. You don't have to worry about that. He's probably going to watch Chet Holmgren have a bunch of good games the rest of the series.
I mean, we'll see. I tend to lean with moderator Gary on this. I do want to jump ahead to Lester, who I just want to jump ahead real quick. Lester is back and with a non-banana commentary. He's back. He is on the Tom Cruise wagon now with us tonight. And that's true. Tom Cruise was in Austin Powers Goldmember. He has a cameo at the beginning of that film. And Lester's banana is saying that is in fact Tom Cruise's best movie. Obviously a hard decline on that comment, Lester. I am not with you. I will not ride with you on this comment. That is certainly not Tom Cruise's best film. Gary, while I'm jumping around,
it was funny though. That was a funny scene, though.
It was no doubt about it. And Tom, he does do funny. Like I said, the Les Grossman character in Tropic Thunder was hilarious. One of my faves. Gary, while I'm jumping around, because I'm never going to get to the end of these super chats.
Lester and Gary, name a better love story. Someone in the chat says.
Wait, say that again.
Lester and Gary, name a better love story. Lester and Skap.
Lester has been peppering me with banana.
Lester and Gary's the sequel.
Right, exactly. I want to jump ahead. First of all, Xavier has sent like, I don't even know, like 15 super chats. Like we're just never going to get to the end of these super chats, Gary. I hope you have, well, Gary, hell, I've been up since 8 a.m. today.
Right, I'm good.
Like I'm Gary's good. Nice and fresh. Gary probably woke up a couple hours ago.
Tired, but
I've been up since 8 a.m. It's 2 a.m. now where I'm at. So I'm the one that should be bemoaning the fact I'm never going to get out of here. But I want to jump down in case I haven't seen Stephanie tonight yet. So I just want to jump down. Stephanie just chimed in. So I just want to give Stephanie a shout out, as she is a big supporter of the lounge and a big fan of Skap After Dark. So I just wanted to jump down here, Stephanie, and give her her appropriate shout out. And I like her comment here too, which is another reason why I wanted to jump down. Gary, go ahead and read that one.
Can we get Jokic and Kyrie? I wish that'd be fire. Kyrie can't stay healthy though. Even if he went to Denver, would he be healthy? If he was healthy, then yeah, that'd be awesome. But
well, Gary, Jamal Murray can't stay healthy either. So right. at least Kyrie Irving is a legitimate, bona fide, all-time great player, top 75-ish player. I don't think he is designated top 75, but he'll be top 100 whenever the 100-year anniversary rolls around.
Yeah.
He's been on all NBA teams before. He's a perennial all-star. I take my chances with him any day of the week. And yeah, I was jealous because, look, I wasn't a huge Luka Doncic fan, but like he got that great run to the finals last year, came up short, disappeared in the finals when it really mattered. But I was jealous of him getting Kyrie when my man Nikola just continues to waste away in Denver with the filth that surrounds him. So yeah, I would love, oh my goodness, Stephanie, from your lips to the basketball god's ears, I would love to see Kyrie with Nikola Jokic. That would be incredible. The two players with that, possessing that level of skill. Yes, please sign me up for that. Oh boy.
Skap, I have to report that the chat has gone absolutely bananas. They're making every Tom Cruise movie with banana in it some way. Banana Sky, A Few Good Bananas. Yeah, interview with the banana. Eat banana, repeat.
Wow.
Yeah.
Incredible. I love the energy. I love the energy from the chat tonight and from this stream. We started with we had somewhere around 800 people earlier, still over 330 people still in here, 2 hours and 42 minutes in, 2 a.m. on my East Coast right now. It's crazy. And we just continue to get these super chats in. It is now 30 I'm sorry, 63 in now. I don't know how many we've read to this point, but we will get to all of them. I do see some more Tom Cruise things coming in the I'm probably going to argue with somebody coming up here.
I will too.
So stand by. So stand by for that one. Let me find out where we're at though. We had Mark. We did the Mark ones. We did Lester's banana one. Are we all the way now to, yes, I think, are we on this one, Gary, from Summer Wine 171?
We can go. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Leo over Tom Cruise is your craziest take. Clooney, I get. Brad to some degree, but Leo is one of the. What did I tell you earlier on our conversation, Skap? That Leo is overrated. He is a good actor, but he's not like top of the line. He's not like Daniel Day-Lewis. He doesn't have that kind of skill. He overacts at times. He's a good actor, a very good actor, but he's not a phenomenal top notch. And I wouldn't even say he's better than Tom Cruise.
I disliked Leonardo DiCaprio for years in my life. I compare Leo to like Tom Brady because I hated Brady and then turned around majorly and became a huge Brady fan. I love Leonardo DiCaprio now. I'm a big fan. I loved his performance. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is my favorite Tarantino film. Pulp Fiction, I've seen all of Tarantino's work. Pulp Fiction's been my favorite film for years and years and years and years of his. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood eclipsed it. I love DiCaprio's performance in it. The scene with when he's acting in a movie with the little girl is a tremendous scene. And I think Leo really has become a great actor. He turned over, I think it was 2008, I want to say. Maybe 2006. It was the year he did Blood Diamond and The Departed in the same year.
He was so good in The Departed. Props to Leo for that. So good in The Departed. Underrated performance.
And Blood Diamond too. He did both of those roles in the same year, and I was like, okay. I hated DiCaprio for years. I hate Titanic. I hated it. But when I saw those two performances in the same year, I was like, holy cow, I've misjudged Leo. And now I have been a big Leo fan for years. Love Inception. Like I said, love Once Upon a Time. But take Tom's name out your mouth, Summer Wine. It ain't close. Tom Cruise I'm not saying he's the best actor ever. Because there's a difference between, like, to me, Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor I personally have ever seen.
Yeah.
I would throw Jack Nicholson and Marlon Brando in the mix. So the three best male actors I think I've ever seen would be Jack Nicholson, Marlon Brando, and Daniel Day-Lewis. Day-Lewis at one. But in terms of movie stars, it's Tom Cruise, period. Like, go back to the golden era of Hollywood. Like, go back to, like, Tinseltown. Go to the 1920s. Go post-silent movie era to today. And Tom Cruise is the greatest movie star that has ever existed. It ain't close. Leonardo DiCaprio is not close. So the fact that he has an Academy Award, and by the way, take Leo's best performance and stack it up to Cruise's best performance, and Cruise outacts him. So, like, I see a better actor in Cruise who was better at a younger age. Leo's become good at acting. Tom Cruise was good at acting from an early age. And he's a much better ambassador for the film industry. He's just a better movie star in general. If Leonardo DiCaprio has an Oscar, damn it, Thomas Cruise Maypother IV should have an Academy Award too.
What would you say was his best performance? Tom Cruise's best performance, in your opinion?
I would say Born on the 4th of July. But again, I get that he didn't get it that year. Daniel Day-Lewis got it that year, and he should, like I just said, Daniel Day-Lewis is the best actor ever. What can you do? But get him an Oscar somewhere. Go ahead.
We'll be careful with our language I use here. But to me, Leo's best performance, did you see this movie, What's Eating Gilbert? Great, phenomenal performance. Leo, don't get me wrong, Leo has turned in some great, phenomenal performances. I just say overall, he's a little overrated. Leo has one of the best filmographies of all time. He's done a ton of great movies, and I think people, they love the movies, and they tend to act like he's a little bit better of an actor than he actually is. Like he has a little bit more skill than he actually has.
Well, but Gary, I would present this to you though, Gary. I think Tom Cruise has a better filmography than DiCaprio.
I'm not even denying. I'm saying Leo has one of the best. Tom Cruise also has a great filmography. They both have two of the best filmographies. I just want to make sure people didn't think I was throwing shade at Leo. I'm just saying his skill set is a little overrated, and I think that's because his filmography is so good. You look over his filmography, so many good films. Shutter Island is one of his best films. That shocking twist at the end, one of the best twists I've ever seen.
I mean, and just to the point with Tom Cruise, like just even think about like iconic film moments from Tom Cruise. Like A Few Good Men was brought up. That's another one of my favorite all-time Tom Cruise movies. Like the scene at the end between Tom Cruise's Daniel Kaffee and Jack Nicholson's Colonel Jessup. I want the truth. You can't handle the truth. The Jerry Maguire, all the iconic lines and stuff that come out of that. You had me at hello. You complete me. Show me the money. Like all like the Rain Man. Like just going back and thinking like from a very young age and stage of Tom Cruise's career. Do you realize like this guy, he was 24 years old in the movie Top Gun. 24. Like to turn in that star performance at that age. I mean, he broke out of nowhere in the role Risky Business when he was like 20. He was like 19 or 20 after coming out of nowhere in Taps, Endless Love. Then he doubles down and becomes a megastar on Top Gun. And I mean, yeah, the guy had a legendary career even before he turned 40. And now since 40, he's done insane, crazy work. I mean, the Mission Impossible franchise, Tom Cruise is one of the few guys. If you look at the top 20 all-time movie producers, like money producers in movie history, Tom Cruise is pretty much the only guy that has no franchises. The only franchise he's in is the one he built from the ground up in Mission Impossible, built around himself. Like when you look at every other guy, I think he's 7th or 8th all time on the most money generated list. But when you look at every other person on that list, they're all in like 10 Marvel movies or like 4 Star Wars movies or like Shrek or Toy Story. Like Tom Cruise is the only one that's done it on his own back for his entire career. He's such a unique animal in terms of like his drive, his work ethic, the fact that look what this crazy guy's doing at 62 years old still. There ain't nobody like this guy. There never was and there never will be again.
I want to help you clarify something because some people in the chat are a little confused because you're not saying Tom Cruise, you're saying he's a great actor, but you're not saying he's on the same level as guys like Daniel Day-Lewis. And they're naming actors where this is a better actor than Tom. What Skap is saying is that Tom is the biggest movie star, not necessarily the best actor, because they're like, Johnny Depp's a better actor than Tom Cruise. Yeah, no one's denying that. And Johnny Depp in his own right's a great movie star as well. Skap's just stressing the point that Tom Cruise and Leo are they're really good actors, but they're even bigger movie stars. And if you want to talk movie stars, that's a good Will Smith. He's a good actor, not a great actor, but he's a big movie star. Charisma on screen. You have to have on-screen presence. Will Smith, Tom Cruise, and Leo have that in spades.
It's not even just that, though, Gary. You're right, and thank you for that point. You're right. And yes, I've been trying to say there's a difference between an actor and a movie star. The best actors, again, I'll say it again, that I've ever seen are Daniel Day-Lewis, Marlon Brando, and Jack Nicholson. But look, that's actors. They're not movie stars, right? Like those are different things. Now, the best movie stars are typically also really good actors too. Like Denzel Washington, Will Smith, like Tom Cruise. Like, yes, they're I think of them as movie stars, but they're also talented actors. That doesn't mean they're elite or great actors. Like today, the best movie star might be, I don't know, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He's a terrible freaking actor, but he's a great movie star. To me, movie star encompasses not just on-screen charisma and the ability, it's the ability to carry a film by yourself, to be a leading man and to build, like Tom Cruise, for like 20 straight movies he put out in his prime, they all made over $100 million in the box office. Even though there was some crazy ass like Vanilla Sky, like these weren't the Avengers, people. Tom Cruise would take any script for like 20 straight movies and make it a blockbuster. Blockbuster being a term denoted to a film that makes $100 million in the American box office. Like Tom Cruise was a massive movie star because he had that ability to single-handedly carry a film to greatness. That's on-camera charisma, on-camera work ethic. That's off-camera marketing and you know, the sponsorship that you bring to it and stuff, like the press junkets, being an ambassador for the just the whole industry, but your individual films as well. That's all encapsulated in being a movie star. It's like an it factor. There is a huge microscope on these movie stars, and the fact that Tom Cruise has done it, he basically, like I said, broke onto the scene at like 20 and became like an A-list leading man by like 22 years old, and he's 62 now, and he is still like the biggest star. Like he is still, like I just looked at IMDb the other day. He was the #1 trending star, the #1 searched person on all of IMDb at 62, and he started at 22. There ain't anybody like this guy. He is as freakish as any of the all-time great. Like he is Tom Brady. He is Michael Jordan. Like these guys are wired differently. Tom Cruise has taken it to another level that we've never seen and we never will again. So guys, we could turn this into Tom Cruise after dark if you want. You ain't gonna talk me down on my Tom Cruise point. You can keep coming in with the comments, but I'm never gonna back down on this guy. I think of Tom Cruise as like in Kobe range for me, like in my reverence and respect of what he is, what he does, and what he's been. So again, you're not going to stop me in Summer Wine 171. You're crazy. You're the one that's lost it to think that Leonardo DiCaprio is in the same breadth as Tom Cruise. Okay, let's see if we can get back to sports here. No, Tim is back in, actually. Tim, welcome back into you in our ongoing push for me to never go to sleep. Let's see what Tim has to say on this one. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, what is with Denver sports? Owning Miami, but always losing to Boston. Winning Marino versus Elway, 96 Stanley Cup, 2023 NBA Finals. Losing 2007 World Series, 2011, was that AFC Championship? What, AFC, WC?
But losing to Boston, 2007 World Series, 2007 World Series, 2011. Yeah, I guess that's AFC. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the. Yeah. Oh, wild card. AFC wild card round.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Denver, they've been to actually, I mean, for them to win that NBA championship in 2023 was a great moment for them, great moment for Nikola Jokic. And then, look, they've been pretty good in the NFL, I think. They've been to a lot of Super Bowls. They won with Manning, they won with Elway. And Elway went to 5. So Elway won 2. He won the last 2, but Elway started 0-3. So they went to 5. Then Manning went to 2. So the Denver Broncos, I think, have played in 7 Super Bowls, maybe 8. I might be missing one somewhere here. They might have played in 8 Super Bowls. Denver is right up there with Dallas, Pittsburgh, and San Francisco with most Super Bowls appeared in, and they've won 3 of them. So I think Denver's a great sports town, and they've had a lot of success throughout their time, more so than many other cities, Tim. So I think Denver would probably count themselves lucky, I would think, to be standing where they're at now. But yeah, good point. And Denver, obviously, the Nuggets and their organization is the bane of my existence at this point. I just hate what they've done to Nikola Jokic. Okay, we've already done the gold member comment. We're back to Danny Munoz here. Danny, welcome into you. Many thanks to you for joining us here in Skap Live After Dark as we approach the 3-hour mark at nearing 2:30 in the morning where I'm at. Gary, go ahead and read Danny's comment here for us.
Is it true that Curry gets mauled with little to no foul calls?
I don't think so. I don't typically see that happening. I think Curry gets an adequate and sufficient amount of calls, the calls that would be befitting a superstar. I think there's no surprise. There's no hiding it. Superstars get calls. They have an advantageous whistle a lot of the times, other than a handful of players. Shaquille O'Neal and Nikola Jokic come to mind most prominently in my lifetime because they're just so big, so brooding, so physically strong, so much stronger and more dominant than everyone trying to defend them that the officials just don't, quite frankly, know how to officiate them, and they end up not getting as many whistles and as many calls as they should. But I've never watched Steph Curry throughout the course of his career and been like, yeah, Steph Curry's really getting screwed tonight. Not really getting enough calls. So yeah, to your question, Danny, I don't see it. Maybe some Steph Curry defenders might come in here and think differently, but as far as I'm concerned, he gets just the right amount of calls. Next in, we've got Noble Demon. Tim is back in. Gary, I saw you stepped away. Welcome back in, Gary. Tim has got us another question here. So Tim has come in and has been very generous for us tonight. Tim, I do appreciate that, and I appreciate you. Gary, what is this question from Tim?
How much is a pair of Puma Haliburtons? I found a pair of Timberland Supreme New York Yankees boots for $300 U.S. currency. Air Jordans are still the standard.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I could find. It looks like $140 for the Puma Tyrese Haliburton All-Pro Nitro Pinstripes basketball shoes, electric blue. $140. Ask and you shall receive, Tim. That's your answer. $140 for those. So pretty reasonable, actually, when thinking about a star basketball player and their signature line of shoe. But yes, I do agree. Still, Michael Jeffrey Jordan is 62 years old. But let me go ahead and pinpoint that. I think he was born in 1962. But let me just confirm that. I believe he's born in February. Yes, he was February 17th, 1963, and he is aged 62. So Jordan is 62 years old. I think he retired for the final time in 2003, but realistically, he retired in 1998 as far as I'm concerned. He then did come back and play 2 seasons with the Washington Wizards, ultimately retiring at the end of the 2002-2003 season. That is, if you're counting 22 years ago, and still, yes, the GOAT and his shoe line is still the standard, because that is just what GOATs do, Tim. They just do GOAT things like that. They are sustainable. They are iconic. They are legendary. And so, too, is the great Michael Jordan. Let's see what Kelvin Veras has to say. Oh, boy, here we go. Now Gary's going to blow a gasket here.
Now it's your turn. Hot take Haliburton, greater Kobe clutch. No.
Come on, Kelvin. Stop this nonsense. Stop the madness. As I said earlier, and as I've gone back and forth with Gary throughout a couple times throughout this 3-hour span of time that we've been on the Skap Live After Dark Lounge here, I will say that Tyrese Haliburton is having one of the clutchest postseasons I've ever seen. Like, I can't personally think of a player in my lifetime, 30 plus years of watching this now, that has had as many signature clutch moments in the course of one postseason as Tyrese Haliburton. But clutchness, clutch genes, clutch moments are more than just the last shot in a couple games in the course of one postseason. Kobe Bryant was the closer on 5 NBA championship runs. So like this guy led the Lakers, led the team, even when he was on Shaq's Lakers and people think Shaq was the primary guy. Kobe was still leading the team in clutch time scoring. He was still the finisher, and he's got 5 rings doing that. So rattle my cage after Tyrese Haliburton has like, oh, I don't know, at least 1 or 2 championships. This has been a really nice run, an iconic run for him, but he doesn't even have the title yet. So while it's been an amazing single season run, stop the madness. Stop this nonsense. Haliburton is not greater than Kobe. Get out of here. Kobe, when people talk about clutch players and all-time closers, killers, finishers, it's Jordan and it's Kobe. Like those are the 2 names that come up. So no, Haliburton is not there yet. But thank you, Calvin. And that certainly is a very hot take. Next in, we've got Vegas 96, a regular here in the lounge. Welcome in, Vegas 96. I appreciate you being here. Gary, go ahead and read the question or comment.
Are you like me, and do you go to sleep and watch old NBA games from the 90s and 2000s? I'll usually watch Bulls Knicks 97 or Heat Knicks.
I watch old games from time to time, yes. Typically, I don't watch them on YouTube. I have NBA TV or whatever, so whenever I see like classic old-timey games on, I'll watch them there. Sometimes I will watch some. Very rarely will I go to YouTube because I say I don't really watch YouTube. Very rarely I'll go on and I'll check out our YouTube games. Now, when I'm watching players from before my lifetime, I will watch full games on YouTube of theirs. But when I'm in a nostalgic kind of a run and I want to see some things that some games that I thought, that meant a lot to me as a young kid, like I'll typically reserve that for like NBA TV when it's on. Like I watch any Kobe finals that they play, any Jordan finals that they play. So yes, I do like watching games from back then during the golden era, if you will. To me, the golden era of the NBA being like 95 to 2010 was like when I thought the NBA was at its zenith for me. But yeah, great question, Vegas 96. Next in is Xavier DeGod, who again is, God knows how many more of these we have coming from Xavier. Though I do see we are getting in shouting distance of the bottom of these super chats. We're up to 65 now. I believe, Gary, 65 would be, I think we got 97 one night early on, which was absurd. And we were on for like 4 hours or something that night. So, but I think 65 is going to be this is the record other than that 97 night. So thank you everybody for being here and for contributing and sponsoring us here. I really do appreciate it. Go ahead and read this one from Xavier DeGod, and we've got like 3 or 4 more from Xavier coming up after this. Go ahead, Gary.
Skap and Gary, you guys should check out the NBA skit videos made by the channel RDC World 1. You'll have a laugh. Also check out One LeBron Fan versus 10 Haters.
Well, I'll have to pencil that in. I'll write it down. What is it? RDC World 1. All right. RDC World 1. All right. I will check. I will look into it. I don't watch much, as I said, as I continue to say, but I will check it out. I'll look into it, Xavier, on your recommendation. And I do want to, let's just jump over Michael. We will be right back. I just want to hit, actually, Xavier's questions take so long. Maybe we should, let's keep in order. Let's hit Michael. Michael, what's up, brother? Welcome back in. Thank you very much for your continued support of us here. And Gary, what a Pistol Pete question. Go ahead and ask or read this comment or question to us here, Gary.
Pistol Pete Maravich, born was an American professional basketball player of Serbian descent. He was the first.
Oh, I did not know Pistol Pete. I did not know Pistol Pete was of Serbian descent. I did not know that. Let me go ahead and look this up. It does look like he does have some Serbian roots, and actually he was born, I did not know this, he was born in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania, which is in Beaver County, Pennsylvania. So that's part of Pittsburgh. That is one of That's part of the metropolitan area of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I did not know that. I myself am born and raised in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It still is my home. I live in Florida now, but to me, home will always be Pittsburgh. My parents still live in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and that they still live in the house that I was born in and raised in. So I still go to visit my parents multiple times a year. So to me, home is still Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Pistol Pete was born in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So I did not know that. But great. And I did not know he had Serbian descent either. So thank you very much for that comment, Michael. I do appreciate that. That is a very cool factoid about the legendary Pistol Pete Maravich. All right, Xavier, let's get to it. Xavier's got like 4 more here coming here. Thank you, Xavier. Let's get some questions here.
Who would win a one-on-one, Allen Iverson or Kyrie Irving?
This is a tough one. This is a toss-up. I think Allen Iverson's a better player. I think he's the greater player all time. I think Kyrie Irving's the more skilled basketball player. And look, Kyrie Irving probably fancies himself a one-on-one specialist because, as we know, he's a disciple of the great late Kobe Bryant, who, again, Kobe fancied himself as a one-on-one specialist and killer. There is famous footage of young Kyrie trying to get Kobe into trying to goat Kobe into playing him one-on-one. Kobe like kind of trash talks him, humiliates him a little bit, says he'd play him for like 10 grand. Ultimately, he does play. I think he did play Kyrie, beat him pretty badly one-on-one. And then there's some footage of Kobe playing against Kyrie one-on-one, or not like in the game, in the context of a game once in Cleveland. When Kobe was older, they went at each other multiple times down the court, and Kobe kind of schooled him there too. But I think Kyrie, I might give Kyrie the potential very, very slight nod here. If this was a best of 7 one-on-one, it would go 7. Kyrie's bigger. I want to say AI look. He's like, he was listed at 6 feet. I think he's like 5'10". Kyrie, meanwhile, I think is listed like 6'2". So I think Kyrie's a bit bigger than Allen Iverson. And I think in a one-on-one context, they're similarly, I think, quick, agile. I think Kyrie's handle might be a bit better. I think his shot might be a bit better too, honestly. I would say Kyrie, very, very slight edge over Allen Iverson, but great question, Xavier. All right, let's see this next one from Xavier. Go ahead, Gary.
Who's better, T-Mac, Penny, or Grant Hill? I would have to say Penny.
These are some great hypotheticals. I don't even know. These are some all-time great what-ifs, injury, sad stories, injury what-ifs. I honestly can't even answer this one. Like all of these players, like Tracy McGrady was so amazing in the 4 years that he was healthy. Like he was first team all NBA. 1 year, like I think it was 2003, 2004, he led the league in scoring like 32 points per game. League-wide scoring averages was 95 per game. That was an era where Tim Duncan and Kobe Bryant were primed. And I think Tracy McGrady led the NBA in PER, box plus minus, value over replacement, and finished a very narrow second in win share to Tim Duncan, who had a much better team with the Spurs when McGrady was on the Magic. Like, that's how good Tracy McGrady was. He was the equivalent offensively of Kobe. Now, Kobe's a much better defender, leader, winner, all those things. But offensively, McGrady was the equal to Kobe, and he was like 2 or 3 inches taller, longer. I mean, McGrady was so damn great. But then when I think about Penny Hardaway, he was first team all NBA too. The 2 years Jordan was retired playing baseball in 93, 94, 94, 95, Penny Hardaway, like 22, was first team all NBA at the 2. So like and then Grant Hill, I mean, he was one of the great full court players before his injury. I mean, he was a guy that possibly, look, we know Oscar Robertson, Nikola Jokic, and Russell Westbrook, the only dudes to ever average a triple-double in the NBA. I think maybe had he not got hurt, Grant Hill was a player that might have maybe possibly been able to do it. In Grant Hill's 3rd season in the NBA with Detroit at the age of 24, he averaged 21, 9, and 7. So it looks like that's probably the closest he got. But I mean, this guy in his early years, when he was really at his zenith, look, he won Rookie of the Year and was an all-star his first year. So he was an all-star in his first year. He averaged 20 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists as a rookie. This guy was crazy good at a young stage. So he went like in his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish years, he's all NBA, first or second team every year. So like that's how damn good this guy was. And then later in his career, after he dealt with all the injuries, he became like a defensive caliber, like an all NBA defensive caliber player. So, I mean, really a sad, trio here. Gary, I can't even say. I don't even know who's the best. They're all just so great. I just don't know who would have been the greatest had there not been the injuries.
Grant Hill coming out of Duke was compared to possibly be like another Jordan type. And I don't think he'd have ever been as good as Jordan, but he certainly would have been up on that list had he stayed healthy. I wonder if he won a couple championships, if he would have said in an interview, well, yeah, I think that just made me the greatest of all time.
I don't think so. He has way too much class for that.
Yeah, a little more humble than LeBron.
Absolutely. All right, let's get to another one here by Xavier. Another rank 'em. Go ahead. I will be able to do this one. Go ahead, Gary.
Okay. Yeah, this is a little easier, Xavier. Here we go. Rank these players: Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Russell. It's just hard to compare because it's different eras.
Correct. And Gary, actually, you have made me think about Wilt, like I must admit. Yeah. And also, you know what else has made me think about Wilt? Jokic. How great and how dominant Jokic is, and how that guy's just not going to win a lot. So it's made me think about like the fact that I've been imputing Wilt to some degree and taking away from him because he only won 2. But like his teams were obviously not as good as Russell's, who I've had Russell ahead of Wilt pretty much for most of my life. But I think I'm thinking I will jump Wilt over Russell, at least for this to this point. I still, for right now, have Kareem, but I'm rethinking that honestly too, because of Kareem. I've really dug more into Kareem, the context of his championships. Like, what if we gave Wilt the replacement level player of Magic Johnson and or Oscar Robertson for his career? And then, like, if Wilt had the best team in the NBA, like Kareem had the best team in the NBA for 10 years in the 80s, what might Wilt have done with that? Because Russell always had the better team in the NBA, not Wilt. So I'm questioning everything. But for now, I'd say it's real close still for me. And also, by the way, I feel like Wilt demolished a young Kareem too. Like old ass Wilt, like went against young stud Kareem, and Wilt still kind of controlled him and legendarily, famously blocked his skyhook. So you know what? For purposes of, I might even be willing to move Wilt all the way. Prior to like the last couple months, I would have had Kareem, Russell, Wilt, then Shaq. But now I'm thinking Wilt might be all the way up, even above Kareem. But like it's real close for me between Kareem and Wilt, then Russell, then Shaq. That would be that. Those are my rankings, Gary. I know you have Wilt number 1 on this quadrant, or this quartet, if you will.
Yeah. And then the other 3, it's just different eras, hard to compare. But I'd say Shaq is probably the most dominant center I've seen, but he doesn't have a lot of skills. Like I'm not saying that back then they shot like 3-pointers like they do now, but like David Robinson and Patrick Ewing at least would shoot from the mid-range somewhat. Shaq couldn't even make free throws most of his career, except in 2000 when he focused on practicing. And Shaq just had terrible skills, but he was just so I couldn't stand Shaq when he was playing because he was just so arrogant. I'm like, dude, if you were not blessed with this size, you wouldn't even be close to the NBA. You're only there because of your size, that you didn't earn that. That was God given. These other guys, like, they honed their skill. Shaq was too lazy, and that's why he was fighting with Kobe all the time. So Shaq most dominant, but least skilled. And then Kareem and Russell is probably a bit of a wash, I would say. But I'd put Wilt at the top.
I'd say, well, first of all, I think Wilt is the most dominant too. I mean, I think he's more in your lifetime, Shaq, but like Wilt was more dominant to me than Shaq. I mean, Wilt averaged like 38 points per game and 25
I just
rebounds
think
for
Shaq
7
would
years.
dunk on you and like knock you down. There's nothing you could do because he's just so big. He would swing his. The one thing I give credit to Shaq for is that he was able to stay as healthy as he was, because most of the time when guys are that big, they can't stay healthy for long. He stayed healthy. I give him props for that longevity for as long as he did. But he's a bit agile for his size. He's very agile. So when he would dunk, he would swing his body, like he's hanging almost like from a chandelier, and always knock guys, like what he did on that infamous Chris Dudley play where he like knocked him over. And I'm like, this guy's just a dick. Like, there's just no reason to just like knock the dude down and like taunt him. I couldn't stand. I don't feel like Shaq had any class. Like, I did not like him as a player. I'm like, you should just be thanking God every day you have the body and the size you have. Otherwise, you would be nowhere near an NBA court because you have no skills.
I will also say this. I think Shaq underachieved in his career.
Because he's lazy.
Not just from an individual standpoint. He had Penny, as we said, first team All NBA Penny, when he was like in his early 20s. Shaq was in his early to mid 20s. Then he got Kobe for 8 years, albeit not prime Kobe for all 8, but like pretty much for 5 or 6 of the 8 years, prime Kobe. Then an ascending near prime Dwayne Wade right after that. Then I believe it was then on to MVP LeBron. Then the big 3 Boston Celtics. And somewhere in there that I can't remember the timeline of, Steve Nash and the MVP Phoenix Suns run that he had with the other good players on that roster. Sean Marion, Boris Diaw, just to name a few. So to play with all of those great players and to only go to 4 finals, that's it? Or 5? He went to 5. He went to 1 with Orlando. Well, no, he went to 6. He went to 1 with Orlando, 4 with LA, and then 1 with Miami. So he went to 6 and he only won 4 with all of that, with all of those great players. So Kobe basically just had Shaq for 8 years, really not much else, and Kobe still got to 7 and won 5. So I think Shaq really, quite frankly, underperformed. That's why I look at players like Wilt or Hakeem, and I say, what if those guys had the supporting cast that Shaq had for the 20 years that Shaq played? Well, they would have like 7 or 8 championships probably, and Shaq only had 4. So I think Shaq kind of underachieved. That's why Shaq's low on. He's the 4th out of 4 on here on this list. But great question, Xavier, and many thanks to you. Now Mark is back in, and Mark is correcting me. I did misspeak. I said Polanski, and it was Stanley Kubrick. Was the name that I was searching for that I confused. Stanley Kubrick directed Eyes Wide Shut, and it was, in fact, I believe it was Kubrick's final film, and I do not think that good of a film. One at least that was not a favorite of mine of Tom Cruise. And then, yes, he said, yes, Polanski, of course, legendarily fled the United States.
Be careful on this. Don't read this whole thing. You guys got to be careful with the words you put on here.
Right. Well, but
to avoid reading this whole thing.
Yes, he's just referencing.
Right. He could have simply said Polanski. He didn't need to say the
right. But yes, Polanski did flee the U.S. and essentially his career ended because of the allegations. So I think he's still, I want to say like is in France or something still to this day. But yes, thank you for the correction there. I did misspeak. It was Kubrick, not Polanski. And then DHP Historical Society is in and is not a fan of guys. I don't know. I mean, you be the judge. Like DHP Historical Society is not a fan of my face. But Gary, go ahead and read this this super chat from DHP.
Much love to you for not banning me, despite me calling your face out constantly. We don't need it. The voice is enough.
Yes, DHP does not want my face on any of these videos. I'm sorry, DHP. It's so much easier. I can create so much more content. I can be available more and I can produce more if I am doing some of these things on camera. So I am sorry, but I will continue to be on camera. I will, however, I think, maybe moving towards a direction of where I will have some, like maybe 10 to 12 videos a month where they're more just straight voiceovers, like standalone docu-style again. But I likely will not be editing them, would be the direction I'm moving in. But while I'm still editing all of this stuff myself, I will be using my face because it's just so much easier for me to edit. Like tonight, like I've been on here for 3.5 hours. It's 2:45 a.m. right now. And then I'm going to go make another video. I'm going to make a video after this about the game. I just don't have the time to do a 7 or 8 minute video where I'm piecing together highlights and clippage every 3 seconds for like 8 minutes. So it's just a lot easier for me to talk sometimes and not put those clips up. And finally, we have worked to the end, and it is DHP Historical Society again, fittingly, with, I think there's two major themes of the live stream tonight of the Skap Live After Dark lounge here. It is Tom Cruise and bananas. So fittingly, our 65th and final super chat tonight. Guys, thank you so much for being so kind and gracious with your support and donations tonight. 65 super chats. DSP, Historical Society, simply puts a whole bunch of bananas here, Gary.
Yep.
So who knows on Sunday if the Pacers win again, Gary, we might need to get you like some kind of a wooden like vat of bananas so you can pull like an I Love Lucy.
I didn't agree to that.
Up some bananas for.
I never agreed to that.
For Lester, I don't know. We'll see. Lester is probably dreaming up all kinds of X-rated OnlyFans type content we can do with bananas. If Indiana somehow pulls a miracle, stuns the world, and wins this series. It was a stunner tonight. 111-110. Indiana winning game 1 of the NBA Finals in a game they led not even for a whole second. In a game they didn't lead until the final 3/10 of the game in. Tyrese Haliburton does it again. Another heroic last-second shot for him. And his Pacers now are 3 wins shockingly away from winning the NBA championship. Of course, I don't think that's going to happen. The Thunder's next chance to bounce back as 11.5-point home favorites will come on Sunday night, I think around 8 or 8:30. So you can book on it, bet on it, book it, that Gary and I will be on after that game around 11 o'clock at night on Sunday. Not sure if we'll do anything in the interim on Friday or Saturday. I don't know if we might come on and address something maybe in the afternoon, do an afternoon lounge maybe, possibly. I don't know. Question mark. We did get one more from DSP Historical Society. Gary, go ahead and read that one.
Resubbed. We love you, Skap.
Thank you, DSP. DSP unsubbed me because I was showing my face too much for his liking or for their liking. So I was unsubbed by DSP. But DSP, I have won DSP Historical Society back. Thank you. Welcome back. I'm grateful to have you back on board, DSP. Welcome back to the party, pal. And I love you guys too. So thank you so much. Thank you guys all again for coming out here for 3.5 hours. Ridiculous. Still nearly 300 people on here, 3.5 hours in, nearly 3 o'clock in the morning. Moderator Gary wants to chime in here. Go ahead.
And real quick, as we are signing off, after this live stream ends, go and check out this video I made on the return of Michael Jordan and what it has to do with how OKC was robbed in 2012 to preserve and build a fake legacy of LeBron James. It's got over 11,000 views the first day, and people are loving it. So I want you guys to go over there and check it out when the live stream ends. So there's a link I just put up.
Also, yeah, speaking of that chat, yes, like I said, 666 now super chats, but like 4,000 plus comments in the chat. So absolute craziness from you guys. Great. I'm just, I've been looking through that comment strand as well. So great, feedback from you guys throughout the night and interactions here with us. So could not thank you guys enough. I'm again so utterly thankful for all of you I honestly can't even describe how much you guys mean to me. Thank you. I look forward to seeing you guys again whenever it is that I get back on. The next time will be, at the very latest, it will be Sunday after the game. Go ahead, Gary.
Lester Bananas back. Pull it up.
Oh, we got another one. Sorry, there was a 67th super chat here from Lester.
If Pacers win, feed each other bananas. I don't know how you think who you're referring to. We're not in the same location, so I'm not sure if you're referring to Skap and I. But as we close out, I want to again stress, please, Indiana Pacers fans, come back after game 2 with this same energy. Come back after this series concludes. I will be here. Skap will be here no matter what. You know what's so annoying about sports, Skap? People will talk so much trash. And then as soon as they're proven wrong and their team loses, you can't find them anywhere. They disappear. I want you Pacers fans to come in here after this series concludes. I will be here. Skap will be here no matter what, because that's what men do. They show up.
Yeah, well, so I guess we will see. I will probably see many of these people, I'm sure. It'll be interesting to see how the rest of the series unfolds. Again, Pacers strike first, shock the world, get game 1, start off with the momentum, obviously. We'll see how the Thunder go ahead and bounce back and what kind of adjustments they will make to this. I expect them to come out rabid. I expect them to come out like dogs in the good sense on Sunday, but we will see. As they say, that is why they play the games. Again, shout out to everyone out there still in the lounge. We will see you next time. Maybe it will be Friday or Saturday. If not, definitely Sunday. And shout out if Tom Cruise is watching. Tom, many thanks to you for coming on as well, Tom, and great job in the final reckoning. Tom, we're a big fan of you. So, hopefully you enjoyed the lounge if you were here. Guys, make sure, of course, as always, to click that subscribe button if you haven't always, to stay up to date with more from me. Until next time, guys.